The second home series of the season for Bowling Green hockey, hosting the Ferris State Bulldogs today for Game 1 of the series here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. BG has won 7 of their last 8 matches against Ferris State. The most recent game, a loss in Big Rapids last season. That was their only loss of the last 8 games. A big series this weekend for the Falcons to continue adding to their point tally. 11 points for Bowling Green and just 3 for Ferris State through conference competition so far. Hello, everyone. Ben Korak here from the Falcon Media Sports Network, joined by Kevin Hutchison, also from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Kevin, I think it's your first time broadcasting for BG Hockey, if I'm not mistaken. How do you feel today?
Yeah, that's right, Ben. I'm excited to be here, though, with you. Excited to see some great CCHA hockey on a Friday night.
For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter X and BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook as well. Our videographer today, Nick Windholtz, will be taking film today and posting goals during intermission. So when you hear us go to intermission, make sure to go to BG_FMSN on Twitter a little bit toward the end of it, and Nick Windholtz will have the clip of the goal on BG_FMSN. Kevin, it's a little bit of an easier opponent today for Bowling Green, especially coming off of series against the number 16 team in the nation in Mankato, Minnesota, against Minnesota State. The Falcons took a split weekend, a shootout loss, and then a shootout win back-to-back, and a pretty solid one for Bowling Green, who was going up against the best goalie in the CCHA and maybe one of the best teams in the CCHA as well.
For sure, Ben. I think it was a good performance by Bowling Green, sort of a good gut check of where this program is headed in Dennis Williams' second year as head coach. I mean, Minnesota State coming into that game ranked 16th nationally. You take them to a shootout in both games. I mean, I think just a solid effort from BG overall and something they're going to want to build on this weekend as well.
So very nice individual performances a week ago. Jacob Steinman being that one. Cole Moore started the first game against Minnesota State, had a pretty rough outing, 3 goals allowed and only 5 saves, 12 minutes of work. He was pulled for Steinman, who played the entire rest of the series, gave up only 2 goals and had over 40 saves, again, as we mentioned, against the number 16 team in the nation. So a very impressive performance by the rookie goaltender for Bowling Green. Don't know if he's going to get the net today yet, as both he and Tyler Palmer looked like they were taking reps as number 1 goalie today. We'll see when they officially skate out. Noah Morneau as well was given CCHA Rookie of the Week this week for his 2 goals in the first game. Tying goal in the first game against Minnesota State to force the overtime. Both of those guys, both rookies for this team, Kevin, and all the rookies have played very well the last couple of games for Bowling Green.
Yeah, for sure, and I think that's a positive sign for where this program is headed with Coach Williams. I mean, you want guys all up and down the roster, any grade level, to contribute. And with hockey, you know, as opposed to other sports, a lot of these guys have been playing in juniors and in different semi-pro leagues, so there are a lot of experienced guys, even if they're only in their first or second year with the Falcons, and you definitely like to see them contributing in a big way.
A little bit of a lack of veteran contributorship. Actually, Breck McKinley is the team leader in assists and second on the team in points with 6 assists on the season. A couple of other nice performances. Tyler Hodson, the junior, is the leader in points for the Falcons with 7. Brett Foe had a very nice weekend. He had a goal and a shootout goal, a very nice performance against Minnesota State through both games. But one thing Bowling Green has been able to do consistently all year is be good in shot volume. They put up a lot of shots, lead the CCHA by over 2 shots per game. There's a couple of aspects of this Bowling Green team where they excel very highly at. Shot volume is definitely one, and they had a couple of goals in that Mankato series that they spurned directly off of that shot volume.
For sure, and I think that's something good to see, you know, when your team is aggressive and when your team's taking chances. I think you'd rather see your squad going out there trying for a win instead of just playing not to lose. I think that's something we've definitely seen from this team, and that aggressive identity is something they're going to want to keep building. And, you know, this weekend it might seem like an easier opponent, but the CCHA has a lot of parity, and so you still want to see them give their best, even though it's a struggling opponent.
Puck possession was pretty even in that Mankato series a week ago now, but that's a pretty solid outing considering that Minnesota State, as we mentioned more than a couple of times now, is the number 16 team in the nation. So today it'll be a big focus on puck possession for the Falcons, the number 1 team in the CCHA. Also for faceoffs, those are the 2 categories Bowling Green leads the CCHA in. They're almost at 60% face-off winning, and when they're able to hold the puck in the offensive zone, Kevin, they're a very deadly team, and they're a very difficult team to try and stop.
For sure, and that face-off win percentage, I mean, that is a crucial stat because that's when you give yourself offensive chances, give yourself chances to make a difference, or at the very least, keep the defense on their heels. And once you build that momentum, it's easy to keep that momentum going once you're going into, the third period, overtime, a shootout. And that's something that really helps win a lot of these close hockey games.
Ferris State coming off their first win of CCHA play. They took that against Augustana last week in Big Rapids, a split weekend, a 4-2 loss in the first game, and then a 2-0 shutout win for Ferris State in the second game. That's their second win in conference play. Second win in conference play. I apologize. 2-1 and 3 in CCHA play this season. Martin Lundberg has been the story of this Ferris State team, the sophomore, and came into this year kind of under the radar, but has really stepped forward. He started 4 games in a row. He's got 2 shutouts this season and a couple of them on relief appearances. He's been very impressive for this Ferris State team. Has kind of carried them into their first win against Augustana yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. The Norway native has been very impressive for that team, and that was very much sort of a defensive stand for Ferris State. They scored both their goals in the first period and maintained the shutout through all 3 periods of that game, Lundberg being a big reason for that. And the Falcons are going to have to try to find a way to throw him out of rhythm in this game tonight.
4 CCHA games played for Ferris State, a loss and a win against Augustana, and then 2 weekends ago they had 2 losses against Michigan Tech, 5-1 and 4-2. So right now one of the bottom teams, but they're kind of a sneaky team, especially in the first season of head coach Brett Riley, that brought in a bunch of guys from his last stop at Long Island University into the series this weekend. Josh Zeri, the first line centerman, has been one of the big ones. 5 goals, 1 assist, 6 total points on the season for the alternate captain. A couple of other guys brought in from the transfer portal for Ferris State. So they're really trying to get something going here off of the back of Lundberg, who's settled into that starting role, is going to get the net again today for Ferris State. And this is a Ferris State team that's really desperate for wins as we get toward the meat of the CCHA schedule, Kevin.
Definitely, and I think that's natural. As you said, this is Coach Riley's first season with the Bulldogs. He's still trying to build that culture, build that identity. As you mentioned, several transfers coming in from Long Island University, where Riley was the first ever head coach in their hockey program, their young hockey program's history. I think they're just hoping he's going to bring a lot of that disciplined hockey, structured hockey to this Bulldog team and help them turn around and kind of get out of the basement of the CCHA.
Ferris State has not won too much in the CCHA. They did beat Bowling Green in the CCHA quarterfinals 3 years ago. Now they beat them here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, but Bowling Green has dominated all of the games played against Ferris State since then. Brett Riley, in his years at Long Island University, 3 wins his first year, 10 wins his second year, 13, 16, and then 20 in his final 3 years with Long Island University. So he had over a 3-game improvement every single year he was there, so you can't really expect him to take Ferris State into the CCHA finals this year, but he's going to continue improving, especially with a little bit of a younger team. Not too many lineup changes for Ferris State today as well. Lundberg is going to get the net again. The defensive core remains essentially the same, and the offensive core remains pretty close to the same as well. And for one of the first times we could say it since Dennis Williams has been head coach of Bowling Green, the lineup hasn't changed at all since the last game. Depending on who starts in net for the Falcons, still could be Palmer or Steinman, but the forwards and the defensemen are all the same. And the big story, Kevin, is Jackson Niedermeyer, who was a forward for the Falcons, is now starting at defenseman and pairing with Gustav Stjernberg. That's a pretty offensive second pairing there for Bowling Green. Not too much so far this season, but that's always going to be a storyline considering Niedermeyer transferred in as a forward and is now playing D for the Falcons.
Yeah, definitely, and that's something you really want to see, guys, when you put them in that situation where you're changing their spot in the lineup. You want to see how they're going to adjust and how they're going to adapt to a new set of circumstances. I mean, I think if anybody has a good chance of doing that, it's Niedermeyer. He spent 3 years at Arizona State. He knows what it's like to be a hockey player at a high level in the collegiate world, and I think he'll have no trouble adjusting to that new spot in the lineup.
Scored his first career goal as a Falcon last week last year, in this building against Ferris State. That was an overtime winner in Bowling Green's second game against Ferris State, where they took a series sweep here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. That was the first goal as a Falcon, first game winner as a Falcon for Jackson Niedermeyer, who finished with 2 goals, and both of them game winners on the season. And again, we'll look to the goalies today. Jacob Steinman with that fantastic series against Minnesota State. He had only 2 goals allowed and over 40 saves. Right now under 2 goals allowed per game and above a .936 save percentage. He has been outstanding as just a freshman. And Tyler Palmer, who's just above 2 goals allowed per game and a .917 save percentage. Really not a bad option between 2 young goaltenders for Willie to put in net.
Yeah, definitely, and you want to see, that's a good problem to have. Having 2 good goaltenders is a very good problem to have. I think this is a team in Ferris State where you can afford to experiment and maybe rotate both of those guys in, just because this isn't one of the great teams you're going to face. But I think as this season goes on, one of these guys is going to pull ahead and eventually establish himself as the permanent starter for this team.
We talked a lot about goalies here in our Falcon Media Sports Network pregame here from the Slater Family Ice Arena. We'll talk about Pick the Stick real quick for Falcon Media Sports Network members. Choose a player before the game starts. Gain 2 points for a goal, 1 point for an assist from their player, and the goalie gets you 3 points. You lose them as he gives up goals throughout the game. We total them up across the entire season, and be sure to play along at home, guess a player, and keep up with how they score throughout our broadcast today. Lucas Kleinmeyer, our sports content director, currently is on in the boardroom show for women's basketball. It's currently going on against Marquette in Falcon Radio, streaming at bgfalconmedia.com right now. His choice is Quinn Emerson, playing on the first line with Noah Morneau and Dominic Ryman. 2 goals, 4 assists, and 6 total points on the season, tied for the second leading scorer for the Falcons. Tyler Kavlitz chose Jaden Grant. Jaden Grant had 2 goals early in the season against Lake State, has not found the back of the net since, nor has he helped on a pass since, but he's playing with Adam Zlinka, who scored a goal against Minnesota State, and Tyler Hodson, who's Bowling Green's leading scorer with 7 total points on 2 goals and 5 assists. Granner is the choice of Tyler Kavlitz. Kevin, your first Pick the Stick in your career here at the Falcon Media Sports Network. Who are you going to go with?
Well, Ben, I'm hoping to start off strong with my first ever Pick the Stick. I'm going with Noah Morneau. Even though he is only a freshman, maybe not the most experienced player on this team, he did score twice in that Minnesota State series. And I think for him to have that kind of production against the number 16 ranked team in the country, I think he'll have another hot start tonight.
He does have 3 goals on the season. That's a leader for Bowling Green, 2 for both Quinn Emerson and Tyler Hodson in second place. And Hodson is my selection today. He's the leading scorer for the Falcons. 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 total points. He had a point streak broken in the second game against Minnesota State, so he's looking to get back on the wagon there with the points rolling in. Tyler Hodson, the selection of myself. So look out for Quinn Emerson, Jaden Grant, Noah Morneau, and Tyler Hodson today for Falcon Media Sports Network Pick the Stick. Kevin, before we step aside and for the national anthem and bring everybody back here for the first game of a 2-game series between Bowling Green and Ferris State, what do you want to see from Bowling Green today?
Well, I definitely just want to see aggressive hockey. As I said before, you want to be aggressive, you want to take chances, you want to play to win and not just play to keep it close. I think the more this BG team can really get their offense humming, really create chances in the slot, and really drive toward the net, I think that's going to be crucial in today's matchup.
Falcons and Bulldogs coming up here in just a few minutes from the Slater Family Ice Arena. You're listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU Women's Cross Country begins their postseason with the NCAA Great Lakes Regional at Angel Mounds Cross Country Course in Evansville, Indiana on Friday, November 14th. Check out the recap of the event by Falcon Media Sports Network's Holden Ruck on bgfalconmedia.com.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
On September 28, 2025, BGSU women's soccer's Lizzie Boltnick scored her first goal in 2 years in a 4-0 win over Central Michigan. She later earned a brace in the win. Falcon Media Sports Network's Henry Costco had the call of her first strike.
It's around Bolnick. Going to have a lot of space here on this side. She's going to be on the breakaway. The 2-on-1. Borgman has to get back towards the goal, and she's got to put it forward over the head of Borgman and in. Lizzie Bolnick. Unbelievable. Taking advantage of Borgman being up near the midfield line.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network feature call.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
yeah,
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Ever tried balancing a dozen eggs in one hand while hopping on one foot? Or maybe juggling cats while riding the unicycle? Sounds ridiculous, right? But guess what? That's exactly what texting while driving is like. Your human brain only has the capacity to focus on one thing at a time. So when you're behind the wheel, give driving your undivided attention.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Falcon Media Sports Network writes and publishes over 1,000 stories per year, including game previews, recaps, sidebars, opinion pieces, feature stories, and more. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com to view all of our content for every sport throughout the year.
BGSU football begins match and play against Akron on Tuesday, November 18th at Deutsch L. Perry Stadium. Tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network Tyler Kavlitz and Sean Connolly at 7 p.m. for kickoff. There will also be an in-studio pregame, halftime, and postgame show hosted by Nate Hinners, Artie Abrego, and Brendan Fagan, all starting at 6:35 p.m. on Falcon Radio.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. Be the someone who gives their time. Be the someone who lends an ear. Be the someone who takes a step. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN, asking you to join the fight against sexual violence and volunteer in your community. Log on to RAIN.org, that's RAINN.org, to learn how you can be the someone.
This message brought to you by the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network and this station.
Start your day with WBGU-FM and Early Bird Oldies. Tune into Northwest Ohio's community radio station weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. for classic hit music from decades past. Enjoy all the golden oldies you remember and stick around for local community news and entertainment with The Morning Show. Early Bird Oldies, broadcast weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. on Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
BGSU men's soccer's 2025 season came to a close on November 5th when the Falcons fell short versus the NIU Huskies by a final score of 4-0. Finishing the season with a 5-8-4 record as well as an above 500 record at Concord Stadium, winning one conference game this season at home against the Bradley University Braves by a final score of 3-1. The Orange and Brown eventually placed 7th in the conference, finishing above Bradley. Senior forward Trace Terry was named All-NVC First Team, one of 11 awarded this honor. BG scored 16 goals this season with 8 of those at Cochran Stadium. Overall, the Falcons finished the season short, yet will return a total of 22 players for the next campaign. This has been a 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
Ben Korak and the Falcon Media Sports Network crew covering the Falcon hockey team throughout the season.
Back here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, Bowling Green and Ferris State set to drop puck here in just a few moments. The Falcons and the Bulldogs here for their first series of the 2025-2026 season. The second series here at home for the Falcons as well. Bowling Green's won 7 out of the last 8 matchups that they've played against the Bulldogs. The very last matchup was the only loss of those 8, a 4-3 loss up in Big Rapids at the Evic Laban Arena on the campus of Ferris State. Ben Korak here with Kevin Hutchison from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Kevin, how are we feeling today?
Feeling good. I mean, just excited to see some CCHA hockey. Excited to see this BG team in action right here on home ice.
Jaden Grant up against Josh Zary in center circle. Josh Zary transfer from Long Island following head coach Brett Riley. Riley in his first season as head coach of the Ferris State Bulldogs, a very successful coach with Long Island who's independent. And quick offsides are the Falcons, so puck will come back out to center ice. But Kevin, a very successful stint at Long Island for Brett Riley, improved every season up to 20 wins his final year with the Sharks.
For sure, and it's great to see that consistent through line of improvement from a coach. I mean, definitely something he's trying to bring to this Bulldog program.
Top 3 in wins amongst independents in the NCAA hockey over the last 3 seasons. Shot in toward Lundberg in the goal of Ferris State. That was Hodson that got it from the left wing boards. Just hoping for a rebound, and Lundberg able to shut it off. He's started the last 4 games for Ferris State, 2 against Augustana, 2 against Lindenwood. Also came in relief in the 5th game ago now, and he's kind of the guy for this Ferris State team in net. No more no in the circle against Riley Wallach. Out to Stjernberg. Stjernberg a shot, banked it off the half wall, and it's taken away by Ferris State. Ferris State up the left wing now. It's Gavin Best to the middle. Flipped back into Best behind the goal line in the corner. Stjernberg lays a big hit on Gavin Best, and the puck is away to the orange and brown. Pass up the left wing. Emerson takes a hit into the boards. It was kind of high up on his face there, and he topples into the shelf. Morneau in the left wing corner scored 2 goals in the first game against Minnesota State. A 4-4 tie and loss in the shootout for the Falcons. Crampton a shot in. Morneau playing in front of the blue paint, and it's tipped off of his stick and up into the netting for a whistle and a face-off to the left of Martin Lundberg in the offensive zone for the Falcons.
And these face-off situations have been key for Bowling Green. We talked about it in the pregame show, leading the CCHA in face-off win percentage. I mean, that's something that really just helps you maintain the flow and control the pacing of a hockey game.
They send Jake Sloan to the face-off circles, 34 for 28 this season, 54% winning percentage. It was at 60 until the Minnesota State series, and had a game where he just was in the positive by 1, and that kind of ruined his percentage a bit. Still early in the season, but he's played center quite a bit for the Falcons, bumping Noah Morneau to a forward one of the games last weekend. Carodi again at the left wing boards. Xavier Jean-Louis, defenseman for Minnesota State, or for Ferris State, I apologize, comes up with the puck off the half wall, up into Max Dukovac. Dukovac, a transfer from Miami of Ohio, played last season with Richard Simonovic. Puck back down to the Bowling Green end. Dalton Norris will retrieve behind his goal, manned by Jacob Steinman today. His 3rd straight game in the net for Bowling Green. Lead pass up, taken away by Brett Foe. Foe down the left wing. He's got Waters and Duran with him. He gets the puck taken away. Ferris State back in their own zone. Back to Foe and out to the blue line. Across to McKinley. McKinley right wing blue line. Back up to Duran. Duran to McKinley as he slashed toward the net, and it's taken away by Ferris State. Ferris State looks to clear the puck. It's outside of their blue line and taken up with speed by Caden Brown. Brown a good pass to the middle. Quick shot deflected down and wide of Steinman. Caden Brown found Emerson good in the middle, and the puck is back to Bowling Green, back in their own zone. A big chance there for Ferris State. 17:45 left to play in the first, still no score.
And, you know, even early in this game, we've seen a lot of physicality, and the crowd's definitely getting into it.
Back down behind the goal, Haru looks to get the puck away. He does do it to Jack Silich, the right winger on the 4th line for Ferris State. Played against Bowling Green last season, as this play is offsides. The Falcons streaking into the zone. Jack Silich had a goal and an assist in first Bowling Green versus Ferris State game at Ferris State last year. had a career-high 8 shots on goal and his only power play goal of last season in that game as well. Very successful first game, but that was the one that Bowling Green won on a split weekend in Big Rapids. Jaden Grant's kicked out of the circle. Tyler Hodson stepped in and wins the draw. He's been good winning faceoffs as a winger, stepping in for Jaden Grant, who he's played with the last 2 games. Stjernberg dumps it in. Zlinka will chase behind the goal. Jack Messick is a bit late to the puck there behind Lundberg. Zlinka takes it outside of the blue line, takes a big check at the end of the play after it was whistled down. Doesn't look like we're going to get anything, but the Falcons take exception to that check on Adam Zlinka after the whistle had blown.
And that big hit there coming from Jack Silich of the Bulldogs. He's a sophomore from Powers Lake, Wisconsin. Big hard check there on the play, and fans were not loving it.
Neither did the Falcons on the ice, but they'll get the change and send a new set of guys out. It's Dominic Ryman, Noah Morneau, and Quinn Emerson. Emerson, a senior, playing right wing, and Morneau and Ryman, both freshmen, playing center and left wing on the first line for Bowling Green. And they've earned their way onto that first line. Morneau, the leader in goals, and Ryman is one of the hardest workers, if not the hardest worker, on this Falcon team. Morneau pressed up against the boards, back in the Bowling Green end. Back to the left of Steinman. It's peeled away by Dalton Norris, and he gets it out with room to Quinn Emerson. Emerson into the offensive zone. Dom Ryman to chase, and it's whistled off. Jack Messick had the step ahead of Ryman, and it's an icing against the Falcons, who will not get a change on that play.
And we're still early in the game here. You know, there's still a sort of a feeling out process between these two teams. I think we mentioned this in the pregame show, but the CCHA has a lot of parity. Anything can happen in any given game. And so both teams are still trying to find that competitive edge.
Back in the circle, Josh Zary for Ferris State. Noah Morneau wins the draw. McKinley looks to get it outside the blue line. He does. Falcons will not go for a change. It's dumped back down behind the goal. Out to the left wing in the Ferris State zone. Itagaki takes a stick off of the face. That definitely could have been a call against the Falcons, but nothing from the referee. Now Ferris State takes it on a bit of a breakaway. Gavin Best has to be spun back around toward the blue line by Emerson. Blasted away from the puck is Jake Sloan as he got it outside the blue line, and a couple of Falcons get a change. A fresh set on the ice for Bowling Green. Taking it inside the blue line is Itagaki. Back down into the Ferris State end as Minville chases. It's out to center ice. Now back into the Bowling Green end, and they'll collect. 16 minutes left to play in the first period. Crampton and Korodiak back on defense. Lead pass up to Jeremy Minville. Minville back to Korodiak. Korodiak, a slap shot, is blocked by Max Djurkovic. Djurkovic, the transfer, as we mentioned, from Miami of Ohio, played with Rihard Simonovic, who is the extra skater for Bowling Green today, skating as a defenseman. Stjernberg and Niedermeyer, the defensive pairing on the ice now. Niedermeyer, as a forward, has stepped into a defensive role ahead of the transfer Simonovic. Also ahead of a couple of other defensemen for Bowling Green, namely Jack Blake, Brian Lonergan, a freshman, and Ty Higgins as well, who has not seen any time on the ice for the Falcons this season, but is also a freshman. Here's Xavier Jean-Louis, second in scoring for Ferris State as a defenseman. Back down behind the goal. Stjernberg with the puck. Brody Waters back to Stjernberg. Out to the middle. Bringing the puck away, now forcing it into Steinman. Over at the slot, it's peeled away by Bowling Green. Flipped up by Brett Foe. Brody Waters will chase. Presses Jean-Louis into the boards. Brody Waters, a very successful last season against Ferris State. Waters had 6 goals and 1 assist in 4 games played against Ferris State last season, including a hat trick here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. And a sweep weekend for Bowling Green over the Bulldogs. On the left wing in the Bowling Green zone, Jack Silich will chase it behind the goal. A forward in gets pressed away by the Falcon defenseman Dalton Norris. Here's an offensive zone turnover. Working in into the slot, and it's carried away. Tanner Rowe couldn't settle the puck down enough to get a shot off. Ferris State takes it back in. Offsides is the call. Riley Wallach couldn't get back onside as Jack Silich was streaking down the right wing.
And that offensive zone turnover, really a heads-up play by Trevor Talene, knowing where the puck was going and just getting in front of it. I think the Falcon defense was not expecting that kind of a development, but they handled it well, and now play gets to reset.
Bowling Green leads the game so far in 1 shot on goal. We've got about 6 minutes expired here in the first period. Still no score between the Falcons and the Bulldogs. Bulldogs coming off of a regulation win against Augustana. As here's Don Ryman coming into the offensive zone. He shoots it over toward Lundberg off of the pillow, and it's saved by Martin Lundberg in the net for Ferris State. That's the second shot on goal of the game for the Falcons. We'll get a face-off in the offensive zone.
And you know, Lundberg has quite a pedigree as a goalie. He's from Romedal, Norway. Played in the J20 National, which is the top junior league in that country. And coming here to the States, you know, he's already making an impact here for this Ferris State team.
Appeared in only 3 games for Ferris State last season. Took 2 losses, allowing 11 goals and making 56 total saves. So not great last season, but he's been enough to get Ferris State their second win of the season and the first win in conference play as well. That won that last game that they played against Augustana last week. Into the offensive zone, Gavin Best streaking. Korodiak pins the puck up against the backboards and now backhands it out to Quinn Emerson on a nice defensive recovery. Out to Josh Zeri. Josh Zeri turns the puck over to the Falcons in the Falcon zone. Now Quinn Emerson takes it up the right wing. Off the boards, tries to feed it into center, misses Minville. It's picked off by Ferris State up to center ice. Schleppe knocks it down. Whistle, and we're going to get a hand pass against the Bulldogs, and the face-off will come at least out to center ice and away from the Falcon end of the ice.
And you know, Ben, one thing you got to admire just as a pure hockey viewer, when it comes to Quinn Emerson, just the fluidity and the motion with which he handles the puck. I mean, he's just really a fluid skater, really an athletic skater, and you can see that anytime he has possession.
Takes after his father, Nelson Emerson, a great player for Bowling Green hockey. Played with Jack Blake Rob Blake a couple of years. Back in about the 90s and late 80s for the Falcons. Connor Levis behind the goal in the Bowling Green offensive zone. Jake Sloan in the corner. Big check there by Connor Levis. Now here coming the other way is Mac Durovic. Durovic's knocked down to the ice. Sternberg turns the puck over back to Bowling Green, who pins it up against the boards in their own zone. It's flipped out to center. Minville being held onto a bit. Now he'll peel off with a forecheck and out back to the bench. Simonovic on the ice now, playing with Dalton Norris. Norris behind the goal, waiting for the Falcons to get set on their press breaker. Now Foe, he gets the stick on the puck. Brody Waters plays it in the offensive zone. Right wing corner, Ben Duran back behind the goal. Wraps it over toward Lundberg. Lundberg makes the save in the crease for Ferris State. We'll get another face-off in the offensive zone. That's 3 shots on goal now for the Falcons to none for the Bulldogs with 12:30 left to play in the first.
But you know, with that kind of goaltending from Lundberg, it's not even like the Bulldogs need to have that many shots on goal. A couple of really strong saves by Lundberg there, and you can see why he's been sort of a bright spot in a rough season for Ferris State.
Face-off one back to Ferris State. They flip it up, look to get it outside the blue line. They do. It's Connor Brown. Connor Brown to the right wing, shot into the chest of Steinman from the blue line. He had a beat on that the whole time.
Definitely a trait you look for in a goaltender, just being able to consistently track the puck with his eyes, have that awareness, and just the geometry of, you know, the angle that the puck's coming at, where it's going to be, and you always see that from Steinman.
On that shot was Jack Messick. Messick, a transfer from Western Michigan. He transferred from Ferris State to Western Michigan 2 seasons ago and then transferred back to Ferris State for this season. There's Tyler Hodson back in the Bowling Green zone. Puck away to Korodiak and Crampton. Skating together, at least right now. And icing's going to be assessed against Bowling Green. A big hit in center ice as well for Adams Linka against Connor Brown. Brown's a little bit worse for wear, but he'll skate off to the bench. And then icing against the Falcons. Back in their zone comes the faceoff.
Yeah, that was definitely a big physical hit, but see that often in a pretty violent sport.
Riley Wallach, the senior centerman, for the draw in the offensive zone. One back for the Falcons. Braden Crampton up the center ice. Don't know if Hodson got a stick on it. He did not. And another icing against Bowling Green, who tried to force it in offensively rather than dump and get a change.
For sure, and in those situations, you definitely prefer to dump it off, not give possession or set up a face-off, pardon me. You just really want to try to maintain control.
So face-off back to the right of Jacob Steinman. And the Bowling Green end of the ice, Jaden Grant in for the draw again. Face-off kind of 50-50, taken away by Braden Crampton. Now up the ice to Zlinka. Zlinka's bumped in front of the Bulldog bench. Hodson fires it in off the half wall and off the back of the cage. Morneau goes for a check against Trevor Talene. Talene plays the puck again, quite a bit bigger. He's 6'5", Noah Morneau. Losing a couple of inches on that matchup, but still going against the large defenseman for Ferris State. Into the right wing corner, Dom Ryman is leveled there by Tanner Rowe. It's back out to the blue line. Stjernberg slaps it back in. Morneau into center. Still no score for the Falcons. 11 left to play in the first period. Jackson Niedermeyer down at the goal line. The skater playing defenseman today. Dom Ryman in the corner with the puck. Into the slot. Emerson out to the blue line. Niedermeyer shot in. Oh, just missed the puck wide. Dom Ryman fills it up on the backside. A lucky bounce for the Falcons. Dom Ryman gets his second goal of the season, and the Falcons lead 1-0.
That was just an amazing play there by Ryman, sort of grabbing the puck, looping it back around and hitting it right in to the net. This crowd is electric right now on their feet, super excited for the first goal of this game.
Niedermeyer took the shot in. It bounced off the half wall, off of the backside of Lundberg, and Ryman was wide open, and no challenge from the Ferris State goaltender.
Ferris State does win the next face-off, though.
So a 1-goal lead for Bowling Green. It's at center ice. Breck McKinley battling for the puck. Falcons have had success against the Bulldogs here in this building, especially under head coach Dennis Williams. Swept the Bulldogs last season in this building. Norris, big check there onto Itagaki in the corner. Itagaki will be the first to this puck now, out to the blue line. Played by Logan Haru. Haru, the shot in, is blocked by Jake Sloan. Shot back in, Gavin Best, right wing. He searches for a pass back out to the blue line, now dumps it back down. Played by Itagaki. Norris takes the body away, and the Falcons come up with a nice defensive recovery. Here's Minville outside of the blue line. Connor Levis on the forecheck. Itagaki back with the puck, flings it in. Chasing is Xavier Jean-Louis. Louis with a goal, 5 assists this season. Wraps it around the right side of the goal. He's pushed away by Ivan Korodiak on a good physicality play by the sophomore defenseman for Bowling Green. Joined the Falcons at about December last season. Shot in by Jean-Louis. Peeled away by Dukovic. Dukovic on the right wing now with Korodiak. Korodiak gives him a check, knocks him down to the ice. A penalty is going to come to Korodiak. Didn't really see that much there, but the hand is in the air. Lundberg off the ice. Puck in the slot, off of the bench. Shot in, saved by the Falcons. It's cleared back out to the blue line. Christopher Lee back down. 6 skaters for Ferris State as they try and score on the extra man opportunity, and Bowling Green finally gets a touch. And looks like Korodiak's going to head off to the box.
Yeah, a bit of a, not a questionable call, but one of those calls that sort of could have gone either way. Crowd not happy with the result, especially with Korodiak being one of the Falcons' best skaters. You definitely don't want to see him out for 2 minutes.
This timeout brought to you by Juniper Brewing Company, located at 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, serving coffee and craft beer and serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner as well. See the list menu at juniperbrew.com. 9:29 left to play here in the first period. A 1-0 Bowling Green lead on the Dom Ryman goal, assisted by Niedermeyer and Emerson. You're listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Unlike other local sources, Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media will never charge a paywall to view our content. However, if you are looking to support student media, you can donate at the bottom of our stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Bowling Green Volleyball wraps up their regular season on Saturday, November 15th on the road against Buffalo. Make sure to join Falcon Media Sports Network's Volleyball Beat, Andrew Smith, on the call of the match beginning at 3:45 p.m. for pregame and at 4 p.m. for the first serve on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This is Falcon Media Sports Network hockey coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM.
9:30 left to play here in the first period. 1-0 Bowling Green leads, but is on a penalty kill now. A tripping call against Ivan Korodiak, who's been pretty solid at staying out of the box, playing as physical as he does. But he gets the gate for 2, and Ferris State on an early power play to try and tie this game up. Face-off won by Ferris State. It's out to Chris Lee. Lee to the right wing, Itagaki on this power play, working down to the goal line to Rappelje. Back up to Chris Lee and back to Rappelje on the left wing. Rappelje switches spots with Lee. Lee works it down to the goal line. Itagaki tries to cross it, and stepping in front of the pass was Stjernberg. Stjernberg clears it out, and the Falcons will get a quick change on a nice defensive play by the Goose.
And that's something the Falcons do well, is, trying to reset play, trying to get the puck out of the offensive zone.
Gavin Best down the left wing. Got a little bit of open ice, looking for the pass. Crosses it into the slot, and a good chance by Josh Zeri, who streaked through. Here's Chris Lee. His shot is blocked. Now a rebound chance by Zeri again. He tries to push it down to the goal line, and iced down by Jackson Niedermeyer, the converted forward and a defenseman, who did play a bit of D in his time at Arizona State, but came to Bowling Green as a forward. Stjernberg and Simonovic back out on the ice as defensemen. Connor Levis and Jaden Grant out as forwards. 2 of the best defensive forwards for the Falcons. Out to Messick. Messick with the puck at the blue line to the right wing side. Back down behind the goal. Caden Brown with it. Behind the rack, and Steinman in the net for Bowling Green. Out to the blue line. Messick. He's got Jean-Louis on the left side. Elects to go down toward the goal line. Jean-Louis wants the puck. Durkovic can't get it to him. He's at his own goal line on the right wing, and he's pressed away from the puck by Simonovic. Stjernberg in there as well, pinning the puck against the boards. Grant in there on the right wing as well. 3 Falcons got to get back in their diamond now. Ferris State. Messick with the shot is kicked away by by Steinman. Looked like it might have taken a slash off of Stjernberg as well. It's iced back down by the Falcons. They have successfully killed off this penalty, as there's an offsides against Ferris State. 5 seconds left to go before Korodiak comes out of the box, but a very nice penalty kill there if they can go off the 5 seconds for these Falcons.
Definitely, and you saw some disciplined hockey there from BG, really just shutting down the passing lanes, protecting the slot, making sure that nothing went awry. And if Dennis Williams' team can continue that trend throughout the season of shutting down these power plays, they'll be in a very good position.
It's called as an icing, not an offside, so Bowling Green gets an O-zone face-off. It's won by Ferris State. Back to Tulane. Korodiak comes out of the box right now. The Falcons in the offensive zone. Down at the goal line. Wrapping around the other side of the goal is Dom Ryman. Ryman feeds it in. Backside. Oh, a shot was fanned down by Dalton Norris. He had a prime opportunity and just couldn't get a clean shot off. Josh Zeri up into the netting off of the stick, so face-off will be in the Bulldog offensive zone. But a great penalty kill for Bowling Green, and a chance there for Dalton Norris, who just couldn't get the puck down enough to get a shot.
Yeah, just one of those plays where it was very, very close. The crowd, even the bleacher creatures you could see, kind of jumped up in their seats, but ultimately to no avail.
An .828 penalty kill percentage for the Falcons, almost 83% of the time. Has probably just taken a boost there, as they're 1-for-1 on PKs today. A sub 20% power play, however. There's Brett Foe. He gets the puck out to the blue line. Tulane with the shot in. It rings its way back out to the blue line on the other side. Piernan dumps it back down, and McKinley will gather for the Falcons. Out to Brett Foe, who played maybe the best series that I've seen Brett Foe play in his time here at Bowling Green against Minnesota State. Pretty much won the second game for the Falcons. He had the shootout, the only made shootout in the second game for Bowling Green, taking the extra point, and had that goal in the second game as well. The only goal that the Falcons scored in the second game is the pucks back into their own end. Still a 1-0 lead for the Falcons. 6:30 left to play in the first period. Knocked in by Connor McGrath. McGrath turns the puck back to the Falcons. Braden Crampton up to center ice. Linka gets a touch. Back down to Lundberg to play behind his goal. to the right wing in the Bowling Green O-zone. Stjernberg able to keep it in. A nice play by Stjernberg, but it's inevitably taken out by Tyler Schleppe. Schleppe, the alternate captain, back out to the blue line. Haru down to the left wing. Durkovic with the puck. Brings it around the other side. He's pressured highly by Stjernberg, who takes him completely out of the play. McGrath in, takes Grant out of the play. Niedermeyer skates away with the puck, backhands it outside of the blue line into the Bowling Green bench. And we're going to get face-off probably in the Bowling Green zone.
And Stjernberg, you know, he's one of those players who's really great two ways. I mean, making that big defensive play, pressing the Bulldog player up against the boards, but also on offense, he had 16 points in 30 appearances last season. He's just a highly productive player and somebody that if you're Bowling Green, you want to get him activated early and often.
So many 200-foot players for this Falcon team. Face-off one back by Morneau. Out to center ice. Skips over the stick of John Louis. It's back into the Bulldog end of the ice. Jack Messick will gather and take it away from danger. Sliding in there is Dom Ryman quickly. He turns the puck over on a nice play. Noah Morneau back to Dom Ryman, who's got the only goal in the game so far. That goal assisted by Niedermeyer and Emerson. Out to the blue line. Shot in. Hodson. It ranges over, and it's filled in again. Was that Dom Ryman again? It was.
Wow.
That's two for the rookie.
Unbelievable play there. I mean, they just crowded the Bulldog slot and just slipped the puck right in there. Lundberg had no way to get in front of it. Just an amazing play there by BG and by Dominic Ryman.
Might have been another beneficial bounce as Ryman was behind the goal line, just put it off of Lundberg's right leg. And maybe some spacing conversations going on with Martin Lundberg as he left that part of the goal wide open.
Definitely for Ferris State, not the kind of hole you want to be in early.
A 2-goal lead now for the Falcons, who have benefited a bit off of some puck bounces. But right place at the right time for Dom Ryman. One from the left side of the goal, one from the right. 5 minutes left to play here in the first period. A 2-goal lead for the Falcons over the Bulldogs here in game one of this series. Shot in by Foe, whistled wide of the goal. Simonovic plays the puck down, a nice shot, and caromed away. Josh Zeri with the deflection. Trevor Talene will chase. He knocks Brett Foe down to the ice. Brody Waters, and a penalty is going to be called on Trevor Talene, who will head off for two.
Yeah, that's a pretty obvious one there, and that really sets up an advantage for BG because, as we mentioned earlier, Talene, one of the biggest players of that Bulldog team, sort of sets up a potential size advantage for Bowling Green, which is always something you want, especially on a power play.
He gets two for cross-checking, and Bowling Green will go onto a power play here. Also, Trevor Talene, one of the better penalty killers for Ferris State, who adds on their first penalty kill of the game, and they'll do it without one of their better defensemen and one of their better defensive defensemen as well. In the dot for the Falcons, Noah Morneau. Power play changes quite a bit for this Bowling Green team, but a staple out there is Braden Crampton playing defense. He's knocked down to the ice. Bowling Green takes it in down the right wing. Dom Ryman with the puck. He's got 2 goals so far. Hodson back to Crampton, now back to Hodson, now back to Crampton. Out to the blue line. Ryman down to the goal line. Waters centers the puck, and nobody there to clean it up. Morneau was battling in front of the blue paint, but take a step just wide of that pass by Brody Waters. Waters had a hat trick last season in this building against Ferris State. First and only hat trick of his career. 4 minutes left to play in the first period. 1:20 left to play on the power play for Bowling Green. Dalton Norris takes it up the left wing. Leaves it back for Brett Foe. Brett Foe scored a power play goal in the second game against Minnesota State last week. The game-tying goal. Out to the blue line. Dalton Norris gives it to Stjernberg. Stjernberg the right wing. A 2-2-1 power play formation for the Falcons. Stjernberg to the right wing to Norris. Norris back up at the blue line. In center to the right wing. High wheel for Brett Foe. Foe down to the goal line. In tight. Crossing pass. It's in the slot. Stjernberg with the puck. Gives it up to Foe. Foe with the slap shot and is blocked nicely by Logan Haru. Out to the blue line as well. Haru in because Trevor Talian, a penalty killer, is off the ice for the penalty. Karam's off the boards, high in the air. A big slap shot by Stjernberg. Puck back down to the Bowling Green end of the ice. 30 seconds left. BG forces it up. Quinn Emerson to Foe. Foe on the left wing to Stjernberg in the left wing blue line corner. Up to McKinley. McKinley 6 assists on the season. Dishes it down to Foe. Foe in tight to Emerson. Now back up to the blue line and outside of the blue line. 10 seconds until Tallene comes out of the box. McKinley with the puck. He's bumped up by Rappelje. Flipped in by Jeremy Minville. Levis and Sloan are out there. So the power play unit was off the ice for the last couple of seconds of that power play. Taking the puck in is Jack Messick to get a couple of guys to change. And a successful penalty kill both ways for the Falcons and the Bulldogs here in the first period. And 2 even strength goals for the Falcons, giving them a 2-0 lead.
And something you really saw for the Falcons on that power play, playing hockey in almost a European basketball style, very unselfish, a lot of passing, a lot of puck distribution. And it's that kind of hockey where there might not be one star on the team, but they really share the puck and everybody contributes.
Definitely a nice power play, although Bowling Green didn't score. Off the half wall and into the BG bench. It's going to be a face-off back into the Bowling Green end of the ice.
And taking a bit of a deeper look at Dominic Ryman, who obviously has been a huge contributor today. He comes from Karlovy Vary, Czechia. Spent 3 seasons with the Everett Silvertips of the Western Hockey League and logged 158 points in those 3 seasons with the Silvertips.
Face-off one back to Bowling Green. Bit long for Minville. Minville couldn't get the touch on the puck. Chasing it in is Nick Belpedio. Out to Gavin Best on the left wing in his own zone for Ferris State. To center ice still. Stjernberg slaps at the puck. About 2 minutes, 10 seconds left to play here in the first period. A 2-goal lead for Bowling Green. Gavin Best into the offensive zone. Niedermeyer gets bumped up by Max Edegaki. Edegaki, not great scoring, but he's really good on play away from the puck. He hits a lot, finishes his checks well. He crosses the puck into the slot. Bowling Green ties it up. Niedermeyer over towards Steinman. He pushed the puck in dangerously. There's a shove at the end of the play by Adam Zlinka to Edegaki. Nothing's going to come of it, and another face-off coming in the Ferris State offensive zone.
And Edagaki's a bit of an anomaly, small in stature, only 5'6", 155 pounds, easily the smallest player on the ice for either team. But he holds his own, very athletic, very physical, and finds ways to make plays even with his smaller stature.
Very comparable player to the Falcons' Owen Ozar, who played pretty sizable minutes. And the last season of head coach Ty Eigner, played with Brandon Santawana and Spencer Kirsten on one of the top lines scoring for Bowling Green that year. Out to the blue line, Xavier Jean-Louis to the right wing. Shot in from Haru is off of the pillows of Steinman, kicked into the right wing corner. Puck in the body is pinned up by Karodiak. It's out to the blue line. Xavier Jean-Louis again. He banks it down. Karodiak plays the puck nicely. He's spun away. Jaden Grant presses the puck up against the boards. Emerson Good gives a check there to Karodiak. Puck is held inside the blue line. Good with the puck. Oh, a nice move by Emerson Good. His shot off of the stick of Tyler Hodson. Grant knocks it outside the blue line. Hodson on the forecheck. Puck in front of the Bowling Green bench. Zlinka gives a bump to Xavier Jean-Louis. Jean-Louis, the big skating defenseman, has had a breakout year so far offensively. 1 goal, 5 assists this season. 45 seconds left to play in the first. 2-goal lead for the Falcons. Ryman lead pass up to Noah Morneau. Morneau working into the right wing corner. Puck there behind his back. He had to grab his stick, so he was able to play it. Now taken away by Ferris State. Durkovic to the right wing. And a penalty is upcoming to Bowling Green. Quinn Emerson's going to get 2 for holding as he pulled, looked to be Connor McGrath maybe away from the puck.
Yeah, just held on to the hip there for about a second too long, and the official flagged it.
I think he dropped his stick and found himself outside of the position. You see there McGrath, he dropped his stick and kind of held on to McGrath a bit there. McGrath also did sell properly by falling down to his knees. So we're going to get 28 seconds of 5-on-4 for Ferris State here in the first period, and then the rest will be served to start the second. 2 minutes holding officially to Quinn Emerson. And the penalty killers back on the ice for the Falcons. Gavin Best down into the left wing corner. Ferris State wins the draw. Best almost shoved down to the ice. He stays on his feet. Dumps it down into the corner, and it's iced back down by Stjernberg. 15 seconds left to play in the first. Carter Rappeljay with the puck. Another transfer from Long Island following Brett Riley to his next stop. Head coach of Ferris State hockey this season, relieving Bob Daniels. Puck back down into the Ferris State end of the ice. Ice down by Bowling Green. 28 seconds killed off on the penalty kill. A minute 33 coming to you in the second period. But in between now and then will be our Rick Crow first intermission report. You'll hear from Kevin and I in just a few minutes. You're listening to Falcon Hockey and a 2-goal lead for Bowling Green here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
The Bowling Green women's soccer team wrapped up its 2025 season in the Mid-American Conference Championship Final, falling to Western Michigan at historic Crew Stadium. Under second-year head coach Chris Fox, the Falcons built their identity around grit, defense, and a possession-based style that led to a program record 13-match unbeaten streak. After clinching a tournament spot with a 3-1 win over UMass, BG beat Buffalo and Miami in back-to-back thrillers to reach the title match, including a 106-minute game winner from junior forward Isabella Mazzaferro. Statistically, the Falcons were one of the best defensive teams in the nation, allowing just 0.59 goals per game, the lowest in program history, and top 10 in Division I. With 27 of 29 players returning next fall, the Falcons are already eyeing another run in the 2026 season. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
My therapist had told me that I needed to go to AA meetings, but I wasn't sure whether I wanted to go because I didn't want to be an alcoholic. That was not what I wanted to grow up and be. I didn't want to go to AA, but I did, and it wasn't what I expected by any means. It was friendly. I could feel it. I could feel the happiness. It's really great.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
Ever heard of Falcon Media Sports Network's broadcast on Falcon Radio or WBGU 88.1 FM but don't know where to listen? Well, set down the radio, pick up your phone, and go to bgfalconmedia.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to stream Falcon Radio and WBGU 88.1 FM for all broadcasts.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
BGSU Women's Cross Country begins their postseason with the NCAA Great Lakes Regional at Angel Mounds Cross Country Course in Evansville, Indiana on Friday, November 14th. Check out the recap of the event by Falcon Media Sports Network's Holden Ruck on bgfalconmedia.com.
Nate Hinners here in the WBGU 88.1 FM studio in the Clean Center, starting off our first intermission report brought to you by Rick Crow, a longtime BGSU hockey fan and listener of Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM. All right, so here in studio now giving you an update on a few other Falcon sporting events going on now. First up, the Falcon Bowling Green Falcons women's basketball team is in action right now over on Falcon Radio. They're up at Marquette taking on Marquette. And right now Marquette is leading 9-5. The game, though, just getting kicked off about 15 minutes ago. So right now Marquette up 9-5. Again, still 3:35 left, though, in the first quarter for women's basketball. And BGSU hockey also in action all the way up in Buffalo. And right now in the fourth set, Buffalo leads, just updated there. Bowling Green leads 9-6 in the fourth set. Overall, BGSU is also leading 2-1, and again in the fourth set with Bowling Green leading. So if that continues, Bowling Green could win this in 4 sets, but we will keep you updated on that. That game, by the way, unfortunately not being able to be broadcast live due to only having 2 stations and 3 games on the one night, but we will keep you updated on that here on WBGU 88.1 FM, and we'll have a rebroadcast of that on bgfalconmedia.com. All right, so that's a look at what's going on in Falcon Athletics here at the moment, and let's head on back out to the Slater Family Ice Arena with Ben and Kevin to continue our Rick Crow first intermission report. Hey, guys.
How we doing, Nate? Great job you just did there a second ago describing what's going on in Bowling Green Athletics. We'll talk about the CCHA real quick. 2 other games going on currently. Minnesota State at Lake Superior State and Sault Ste. Marie. That game tied at 0 as we approach the latter half of the first period. And then Bemidji State at Michigan Tech in Houghton, a 1-1 tie. Oliver Peer assisted by Adam Fleming and Patrick Satisari, the first goal for Bemidji State. And Max Koskapirti, a power play goal for Michigan Tech off of McInnes Ice Arena bounce. And that's a tie game, 2 of the top teams in the CCHA right now. Bowling Green with a 2-0 lead over Ferris State has scored the most goals in any game so far in the CCHA, and both of them, Kevin, from Dom Ryman, his second and third goals of the season, now tied for the team lead in total goals, and beneficial bounces both times, but certainly capitalizing on his opportunities today.
For sure. A goal is a goal. I mean, whether it's a beneficial bounce or whether it's more difficult, and Ryman's just really capitalized on that. I mean, he really brings just a lot of, I think, hockey IQ to this team, good awareness of spacing, of where he's at on the ice. And I think just for the rest of the game, we're going to look to hopefully see Bowling Green stay aggressive, keep their foot on the gas. Now is no time to get complacent, especially when you have 40 minutes of hockey still in front of you.
Willie, definitely not the type of head coach to come out and tell his guys to play a more defensive brand of hockey, which has not been his repertoire in his time here at Bowling Green. But the big things that we focused on in our pregame, Kevin, which were shot volume, which Bowling Green has succeeded in this season, and face-offs have been 2 realms where Bowling Green has succeeded yet again today against Ferris State. They're leading in shots on goal by 4 total, and they've had much more high-quality chances as well. And they're leading in face-offs quite a bit in that first period, 25 total face-offs, but 17 of them being won by Bowling Green to only 8 to Ferris State. 2 very nice realms of dominance for Bowling Green, and they've had success when they dominate in those realms so far this season.
Definitely. I mean, controlling face-offs is absolutely crucial. I mean, it allows you to get your cycle going. It allows you to maintain possession, maintain momentum, and take away chances from the other team, especially when they're in your offensive zone. And that's something that I think is going to continue for the rest of this game. One thing I think BG needs to work on, though, is penalties, especially avoidable penalties. You don't want your guys consistently in the box because that gives the other team a chance to make it close.
Both goals scored by Dominic Ryman, the first assisted by Jackson Niedermeyer and Quinn Emerson at the 9-minute mark, and then at the 14:44 mark, Dalton Norris assisted on Dominic Ryman's third goal of his season, third goal of his career at Bowling Green 2. The rookie approaching 1 goal away from a hat trick, which would be the first time a Bowling Green player scored a hat trick since the Ferris State series last season here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. Looking at the shot chart as well, the only 2 shots in tight with the goaltender for Ferris State, Martin Lundberg, are pretty tight in on Lundberg, both of them from Don Ryman. So definitely something to look forward to in the second period, is trying to see if Bowling Green can get those shots on goal in a little bit tighter with the goaltenders.
Yeah, definitely. That will be something to examine as we move forward with these other 2 periods here. And BG, I mean, this is sort of every game in CCHA play is important. Every game matters. And even against an opponent that's having a bit of a rough year, you still want to be a gritty and a consistent team for all 3 periods.
Kevin, only a couple minutes left in our Rick Crow first intermission report, but before we take a step back, what are some big things you want to see from Bowling Green in the second period? Both add on to their lead and also keep Ferris State off the board.
For sure. I mean, as I sort of said, I want to just see, the limiting of penalties, clean hockey, hockey that really contributes to an error-free and more of a smooth game. Also, maybe just getting some of the more athletic players involved, including Quinn Emerson. I'd like to see a bit more from him, especially because, as I mentioned before, he's a very athletic, very strong skater. But I think if BG just keeps their foot on the gas and keeps going, they should be fine.
Our update back around the CCHA and what's going on through the rest of Bowling Green's conference opponents. Lake State and Minnesota State tied at 0 through the first period of action. That's a big first period for Lake State against the number 16 team in the nation, or was the number 16 team in the nation going into last weekend. And then Bemidji State and Michigan Tech, after one full period of play, tied 1-1. Bowling Green up 2-0 against Ferris State in their action as well today. The rest of the CCHA does not play today, and the same opponents will play tomorrow, with the addition of St. Thomas at Augustana. Will play at 7:07 p.m. In Sioux Falls at Midco Arena at the home of Augustana Hockey. So that's what's going on around the rest of the CCHA. We got a couple of minutes left here in the Slater Family Ice Arena before the second period starts. Bowling Green sporting a 2-goal lead over Ferris State here in Game 1 of this weekend series between the Falcons and the Bulldogs. You're listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BG men's basketball heads on the road for the first time this season after their best start over a decade, battling Davidson on Saturday, November 15th at 6 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz and Artie Abrego will record a broadcast from North Carolina, which will be available at bgfalconmedia.com.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling. The limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes, rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad.
Nate Hinters here with another update on Falcon Athletics here in the WBGU 88.1 FM studio. So going back to women's basketball, the first quarter has now ended for the women's Falcons team up at Marquette. And at the end of the first quarter, the Marquette Golden Eagles lead the Bowling Green Falcons 15-8. Taking a look now at what's going on over in some volleyball action up in Buffalo. Still in the fourth set up there, and Bowling Green remains ahead 16-12 over Buffalo. And again, that's in the fourth. Set-wise, Bowling Green right now leads 2-1. And again, in the fourth set, Bowling Green leads 16-12. I'll keep you guys updated on these scores from the WBGU studio, but we'll send things on back out to Ben and Kevin here in a few. You're listening to WBGU FM in Bowling Green.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
BG Women's Swim aims to stay undefeated on the season as they host the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley to Cooper Pool on Friday, November 14th and Saturday, November 15th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Dawson Pelter will have a recap of the meet on bgfalconmedia.com.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is often laced into illicit drugs and used to make fake versions of prescription pills. You can't see it, taste it, or smell it. Suppliers mix fentanyl into their products because it's potent and cheap, and the dealer might not even know. Keep yourself and others safe by knowing the real deal on fentanyl. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the
Check out recaps of this and every BGSU hockey match online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, 2-0. Bowling Green leads after one period of play. Both goals scored by freshman Dominic Ryman, his second and third of the season, tied for the team lead in goals with 3, along with fellow rookie Noah Morneau, both very high offensive output players. The last time Falcons scored a hat trick, I know we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves here, but might as well put it in your mind now, was Brody Waters in the second game against Ferris State last season, a 5-4 win for Bowling Green. 3 goals for Brody Waters, all 3 of them assisted by Dalton Norris, and all 3 of them on the power play. So that's the last time Bowling Green has had a hat trick. Don't know the last time a rookie had a hat trick for Bowling Green. I think it's been quite a while. If I had to guess, it'd be Austin Swankler in his rookie year. But Kevin, a very impressive performance so far by this Falcon offense, and I'm assuming they're not going to take their foot off the gas when we get here into the second and the third.
No, I don't think so at all, Ben. I think their identity as a hockey team is very aggressive, very hard-nosed, very much a team that tries to play well and play consistently through all 3 periods. In this second period, I mean, if you're Ferris State, you're already in a 2-0 hole. You're going to want to play a very offensive brand of hockey. You're going to want to have a high risk tolerance because the Bulldogs are going to have to take some big risks to get back into this one.
Falcons back out onto the ice against the Bulldogs. Jacob Steinman and goal for Bowling Green. 3 saves so far. The Bowling Green defense has barely allowed Ferris State to be in the offensive zone. Ferris State has had a power play, and they're going to be on one here. They got a 5-on-4 for the next minute 33. As Quinn Emerson got 2 for holding in the last minute of that first period. So Ferris State will look to get on the board here in the first. Itagaki with the puck, turns it over. Korodiak slaps it back down around to Lundberg and then out of Ferris State. On the left side of your radio dial now. Rappelj takes it up the left wing, the transfer from Long Island. Into the middle, now to the right wing. Gavin Best out to the blue line. It's Chris Lee. Chris Lee, number 4, skating defenseman, the only defenseman on this power play for Ferris State, which comes through the next minute, barring a score. Out to the blue line, Rappelj working in. His shot nicely deflected in, and a score. Looked to be Josh Zeri, the senior centerman. Camped out in front of the blue paint, and a nice deflection. Ferris State climbs within 1 on a power play goal.
Well, it looks like the Bulldogs heard me when I talked about being aggressive and taking risks. I mean, that was just a well-executed offensive play by the Bulldogs. Zeri being one of those high-impact players who followed Brett Riley here from Long Island. His cousin plays for the Calgary Flames, and you can see that level of skill in his game. Just a really aggressive shot to get them on the board.
He scored a point in every series but the Lindenwood series at home 2 weeks ago. He scored a goal in 3 of his first 4 games played. He's got his 6th goal of the season here today. It's an unassisted power play goal as of right now. An assist is going to be added to that after the shot in, I believe, by Rappelj. But back out to even strength. Now the Falcons can't take their foot off the gas. It's only a 1-goal lead. We are talking a bit about the mentality that you have to instill in your players. Second period did spell disaster for the Falcons in the first game against Bemidji State here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. Taken down behind the net. In the offensive zone is Brett Foe, but no call coming against Trevor Talene, who's already got a penalty in this game. Maybe could have got one there. Brody Waters tries to keep it inside the blue line, but it's slapped out by Tyler Schleppe, and it's back down into the Bowling Green end of the ice. Lead pass up, a nice one. Taken down behind the goal line. Talene, the big defenseman, around to Connor McGrath. McGrath, a disc pass out to the left wing, played by Dukovic. Dukovic up the left wing now, weaving through a couple of Falcons, turned it over. He did not pass the puck for about 3-4 seconds and ended up turning it over. Jack Messick, puck away to Xavier Jean-Louis. 18:20 left to play in the second period. A one-score game now with the Falcons leading. Out to neutral ice. Dom Ryman a step behind, trying to turn that puck over. Simonovic back in his own zone, and now here's Emerson Good. Good, a nice pass to Messick. Messick a shot in, saved by Steinman. It's kicked over into the left wing corner in the Bowling Green end. Ryman slaps it outside the blue line. Messick plays the puck here. Bowling Green getting ready to get a change. McKinley ranges back, puts a check on Rappelj back in his own zone. Puck slapped away. Xavier Jean-Louis can't keep it inside the blue line. He'll have to circle out. Falcons have a long change now, so they have to get the puck back to get a turnover. Down the left wing, Silic, his shot into Steinman. Steinman will glove. That it's a way to get a change for Bowling Green. And a nice offensive performance there for Ferris State. Maybe their first real great one of the game.
For sure. I mean, going back to that previous goal, both Rapalji, who assisted the goal, and Zeri, who scored, both of them being Long Island transfers. So they already had that chemistry, and you saw it in action on that play.
Rappelj not yet given the assist, but he did have the initial shot in that was deflected by Zeri. So barring a touch from the goaltender, I'm pretty sure that's who's going to get the assist when they go back and look and assign one. Here's Logan Haru on the right wing, an extra skating defenseman playing with Nick Belpedio right now. 5 defensemen playing in rotation for this Ferris State team. There's a big check. Knocked down to the ice is Jaden Grant, and no call coming toward the Falcons. So a couple of physicality plays that could have resulted in a penalty the last couple for the Falcons, and no call. There's a check from Stjernberg, knocks his man down to the ice, and it's an icing resulting from it against Ferris State.
You know, I've seen 3 big plays from Stjernberg, all physical up against the boards. That was another one there. I mean, he's just one of those players who's really gritty and really finds a way to find that physical edge, especially on the outside and especially near the boards.
Hits not tracked in the NCAA, but if they were, Stjernberg might be one of the national leaders. He hits everything that moves a lot of the time and does so, at least this year, in a way that does not take in penalties, which was a problem for him last season. Crossing pass into the slot. Connor Levis gets the puck deflected away from him. Now up the right wing comes Wallach. Wallach to the right wing. Shot into the chest of Steinman, and he makes the save. Tanner Rowe, the junior left winger, with that shot in, he flips the faceoff back to the offensive zone for the red and gold.
And you notice already in this second period, Ferris State is taking a lot more shots on goal. It's like in the first period, they kind of skated around, they kind of played possession hockey. Now they're trying to score every single time they touch the puck. And so I think that's just sort of the resilience and sort of the game planning adjustments that you see from Brett Riley.
2-1, Bowling Green leads. 16:41 left to play here in the second period. A 2-goal lead for the Falcons coming into this period, and a quick power play goal by Josh Zeri. Assist by Chris Lee and Rappelj. To the right wing, play is blown off sides against Bowling Green, so it'll come out back to center. But Rappelj getting his second assist as a Ferris State Bulldog and of the season as well.
He's from Monument, Colorado, spent some time with the North Iowa Bulls in the North American Hockey League. Ferris State's his 3rd collegiate stop. He spent time at Stonehill and Long Island.
A very, very good player for Stonehill was Rappelj, as here's a icing call against Ferris State. Rappelj with Stonehill, 20 goals, 15 assists, 35 points in 2022-23. That was his freshman campaign. 97 shots on goal, 8 power play goals, 2 shorthanded goals, and 3 game winners for Stonehill in the Northeast, and he transferred to Long Island after that and played fairly well. He had 20 points, but battled injuries, only played 21 games. And now over to Ferris State to follow Brett Riley to his next stop here in the CCHA. Playing on the right wing with Caden Brown and Emerson Good. Also very experienced players. Good junior, and Caden Brown, a redshirt senior. Here's a face-off in the offensive zone to the left of Martin Lundberg. Left side of your radio dial. Jaden Grant in for the draw. It's Won back by Grant, but taken away by Ferris State. Down the left wing, Silich. Now to Gavin Best. Gavin Best bumped up into the boards behind the goal. Breck McKinley battling for the puck out to the blue line. Trevor Tallene keeps it in. Out to the blue line. Tallene walks in, fires it wide of the goal. Brody Waters will be the first to the puck. Whistle blows, and we're going to get interference, probably against Ben Duran, as he seemed to have laid a big check on Josh Zeri of Ferris State, and we're going to get another power play for Ferris.
Interference kind of being one of those calls that is always a little vague. It's always a little ambiguous, kind of hard to consistently identify and consistently enforce, but not a good break for BG on that penalty.
Ben Duran's got 6 penalties for 20 penalty minutes. Took a misconduct in the Minnesota State series. That's why his minutes are so inflated, but he's done a better job at staying out of the box this season. But he finds himself in the box for 2 for interference right now, and a good opportunity here for the Bulldogs to be able to tie this game up in a road arena. Morneau in for the draw, dropped down to his knee to win it, and it's back to Sternberg, and he ices it down to Lundberg on the other end of the ice. Under 16 left to play in the second. Ben Duran serving 2 for interference in front of the goal in the defensive zone. Rappeljay works it out the right wing. Good pass over, but it misses Josh Zeri. The transfer duo, as Kevin mentioned a bit ago, from Long Island. Back out to the blue line. Rappeljay can't hold it in. Chris Lee has to re-chase the puck. Back in his own zone, out to center ice. Itagaki is knocked down to the ice. Oh, could have been a tripping call there against Jaden Grant. He got his stick pretty low in the skates. Rappeljay backhands it. It's knocked down by Sternberg and pinned out behind the goal. It clears out to the positive side of the goal line. Kept inside the blue line on a nice play. Jaden Grant looking to fire it out. And Bowling Green skates the puck away. It's Jackson Niedermeyer down the left wing in the offensive zone now. Crosses it in. Rappeljay takes the puck away. In tight with the goaltender was Connor Levis, ready to make a tip play that Bowling Green has scored both of their goals today on pretty tight end plays with the goaltender Lundberg. Still on the penalty kill though. Backhand chance shrugged away by Steinman. 45 seconds left to play in the power play. BG skates the puck outside of the zone. Levis with the giveaway to Messick. Messick forces the puck back up down the left wing. Streaking in is Ferris State behind the goal line. Back out to the blue line on the right wing. Messick fires it in, deflected down and sent wide. Caden Brown back up to the blue line. To Messick again. Messick to the right wing. Left back for Xavier Jean-Louis. Jean-Louis into the high slot. Messick kind of lost control of the puck there. Jean-Louis down to the goal line. He streaks over to the slot, now peels back. To Jack Messick, down to the goal line. He fires it wide of the net. Slapped by Bowling Green outside of the blue line and outside of the field of play. We're going to get a face-off most likely in the offensive zone for Ferris State, but only 3 seconds left to play on the penalty assessed to Ben Duran.
And Ben Duran's definitely someone you want to have in your lineup. I mean, he's a big-time contributor on a consistent basis for this Falcon team. Having him back in a few seconds is going to be a big boost.
An influential penalty killer as well at certain times, especially when it gets down to the third shift or so. Puck drops, Ferris State wins it back. Quick shot in, Silich with it. A good chance there, but Ben Duran comes out of the box. Silich with the puck behind, crosses it in. Steinman shuts it down. It's chipped high in the air, settled down by Ferris State. Shot in, Bowling Green comes up with the puck defensively, can't clear it outside. Tallene keeps it in. Sternberg will gather the puck behind his net. Fanning on the pass there was Crampton. Dom Ryman on the right wing, fires it outside the blue line, and Bowling Green will get a chance to set up their offense, and they were kind of frantic there looking to get the puck out.
Yeah, you didn't see the disciplined puck handling that you saw in the first period, struggling to get their sticks in the right position.
Puck cleared over, and Steinman able to shut it down. So a face-off coming in the offensive zone. Most of the face-offs this period, 13:27 left to play in the second. Most of them coming in the Bowling Green end of the ice. But they've still won their fair share of them, 23-12. Face-off wins for Bowling Green over Ferris State. And the puck possession certainly seems to be going the way of the Bulldogs here, Kevin.
Yes, definitely. I mean, they almost look like a new team here in the second period.
Helps when they started the period with a power play and also had a power play there that they were not able to score on, but climbed within 1 goal of the Falcons. 2 goals in the first period for Dom Ryman of Bowling Green, and then a goal here in the second period by Josh Zeri, a deflection down off of the shot in by Carter Rappeljay. Behind the goal, Sloan misplays the puck. Into the left wing, Bowling Green in the O-zone with the puck. High is Foe. It's knocked down on the slot. Brody Waters comes up with it. Pass to Jake Sloan on the right wing. Misses, and it goes down to the goal line. Here's Simonovic down the right wing. He's working in. The defenseman has the puck taken away. Good skates it outside of the blue line. Carter Rappeljay flips it up into the Bowling Green end of the ice, and the Bulldogs will get a change. Sloan up to Stjernberg. Stjernberg tips it in. It's slapped out of the air by Haru. With a high sticking there. Schleppe puts a big check on the Falcons. Good move by Stjernberg. Looks to cross it into the slot. Standing there was Linka to try and make a play. Jean-Louis back defensively. The best defenseman on this Ferris State team. Quite arguably, he scored an assist in 4 games played against Bowling Green last season, a -1 rating, which is actually one of the better performances. BG 3-1 against the Bulldogs last season.
Yeah, Jean-Louis just definitely brings a size advantage to this team. He has quite the big frame.
Back into the offensive zone, Ferris State brings the puck around Steinman. It's now to the right wing. Niedermeyer to his line partner Stjernberg. Stjernberg out to Hodson. Hodson pokes it outside the blue line. Had a point streak broken in the second game against Minnesota State, did Hodson. That was a 6-game point streak at the time. Puck back in the offensive zone, wrapped around, and in again! Another beneficial bounce for the Falcons. It's Noah Morneau, and it's the freshman show here in the slate.
Well, and it looks like I get 2 points for my pick the stick prediction with Morneau, the Windsor, Ontario native, putting it in right there for a Falcon score. Just great athleticism on the play, wheeling the puck around, and Lundberg just isn't able to stop it.
Lundberg has given up 3 goals off of the calf of his left leg. Gavin Best with the puck offensively, shot in, tried to be fed in, and Gavin Best on the right wing fills it up very quickly for Ferris State, right off the draw, right into the offensive zone, and it's back to a 1-score game as quick as you can count.
Well, as they say, easy come, easy go. What an unbelievable sequence. That was almost like a fast break in basketball. You had Ferris State doubling back to the Falcon zone and putting in a score of their own. This game has gotten very interesting, very fast.
8:30, the mark of the first goal, and 8:42, the mark of the second goal that we've seen just a second. Back-to-back goals for both of these sides, and it's back to a 1-score game. Up to center ice, Schleppe with the puck, back to Jack Messick. Messick to pass up through center. Wallach can't get it in the offensive zone. He finishes a big check on Breck McKinley. It's fired into the Bowling Green O-zone. Brett Foe chasing the puck. Silich plays it out. Foe knocks it back in. Waters chases behind the goal of Lundberg. Out to the right wing. Ferris State looking to get the puck out of the blue line. Still can't do it yet. Brett Foe playing the puck. Wraps it over towards center. Stjernberg passed down to the left wing wheel. Kept inside the blue line again. Foe knocks his man down to the ice. Still got the puck. That was Waters that worked in tight with Foe. Puck is pinned up against Foe, who's sitting on the puck. Now kneeling on it. It's poked away. Waters back out to the blue line. Jackson Niedermeyer to the right wing. The alternate captain Stjernberg. His shot in. It's on the slot. Held inside the blue line again by Bowling Green. Fired in to the slot once more. Carried away by Silich. Off of the glass and outside of the zone and out of danger. 3-2. Bowling Green leads Ferris State with 10:15 left to play in the second period. A big offensive drive there for Bowling Green. Go to O-zone possession, but not able to get a very quality shot on goal off.
Bit of a missed chance. Almost seemed like Foe lost track of the puck there in the slot.
Logan Haru leaves the puck right behind the goal of Lundberg, who's finding himself playing a far bit deeper toward the goal line now. Here's a shot off of the half wall and caromed over in front of, or behind Lundberg. Haru presses the Falcon up against the boards. Puck out to the blue line. Haru with his hands in the air, dropped his stick to avoid the penalty. Simonovic can't hold it inside the blue line in front of his own bench. Zlinka in the neutral zone. Hodson, disc pass out to Jaden Grant. Grant on the left wing, being defended by Haru. A nice defensive play there. Haru, who takes out the body, sweeps the puck away as well. Dom Ryman with the puck, working in down the left wing goal line. He's pressed up against the board, still working. Referee kind of got in the way there of Quinn Emerson, who's trying to join that battle in for the puck. It's in the left wing corner of the Bowling Green O-Zone. Noah Morneau scored a goal for the Falcons just a minute ago. Has the puck now to Korodiak. Emerson back down. Dom Ryman finishes his check. Bowling Green still with the puck in the offensive zone. Misses the pass to Ryman. Trying to center it was Quinn Emerson from behind the goal. Press into the cage is Dom Ryman. He's still pressed into the cage and now is able to get up. Noah Morneau with the puck. He moves down, gets open ice. Pass across to Dom Ryman, who wasn't in the right position for that pass on the right wing of the goal. Morneau the pass from the left wing. 8:30 left to play here in the second period. A one-goal lead for Bowling Green. Korodiak fires it in. Oh, just wide. Lundberg is knocked down to the ice. His mask comes off, so the play is immediately blown dead. And now Haru is getting into it with a couple of Falcons.
And we have some pushing.
Yeah, we're having some pushing and shoving going on. Looked like maybe a Falcon stick got into the mask there of Martin Lundberg, who was on his knees at the time, so don't know whether it's going to be a penalty assessed to Bowling Green or Ferris State. It looks like Haru's going to head off, and it also looks like Jeremy Minville's going to head off. So offsetting penalties here at the media timeout. That's brought to you by Juniper Brewing Company, proud creators of the Ale Ziggy Zumba, a light ale made in collaboration with BG Athletics. Fan favorite in the Madhouse on Mercer here, but also available at 145 South Main Street and downtown Bowling Green. For latest menus and Juniper Brewing Company details, go to juniperbrew.com. You're listening to a Falcon hockey one-goal lead here in the second period on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
BG Women's Swim aims to stay undefeated on the season as they host the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley to Cooper Pool on Friday, November 14th and Saturday, November 15th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Dawson Pelter will have a recap of the meet on bgfalconmedia.com.
Falcon Hockey on the radio at 88.1 FM and streaming online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, a 3-2 Bowling Green lead here at the 8:18 mark in the second period coming out of the media timeout. We have 4-on-4 hockey here for the next 2 minutes. Jeremy Minville serving 2 for Bowling Green. And Logan Haru in the box for Ferris State, still chatting to each other. They sat in the box through the media timeout and will serve the next 2 minutes of gameplay for roughing each apiece. Bowling Green scored 3 goals, all 3 of them on freshmen, all 3 on first-line freshmen. And 2 of the 3 being assisted by Quinn Emerson, a first-line right winger, and the senior. Knocked down to the ice is Tyler Hodson as he was streaking behind the goal. Ferris State takes it the other way. It's Talene. Talene down behind the goal line. The defenseman a bit deep there. Nobody guarding the blue line, and now it's Ferris State pinning up the puck in the right wing corner. Tyler Schleppe in that corner. Bowling Green with 2 to just Tyler Schleppe, so they come away with the puck. Up against the boards is Jaden Grant. Puck away to Gustav Stjernberg. He passes it across the nose of Steinman. In the net for Bowling Green, a goal given up in his 2 games played against Minnesota State in relief, but 51 minutes played in the first game against Minnesota State. gave up only 1 goal as this puck is high in the air off of the low roof here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. Some pleasantries being exchanged at center ice between Schleppe and Sternberg. But Simon's been outstanding for these Falcons, Kevin. Coming into the year, it was Colmore's not to lose, really, but they knew what they had, and the freshman Steinman, and he's been just what the Falcons hoped he'd be.
Yeah, he's been very effective in, 3 seasons in the Western Hockey League. He's had a lot of time to really build experience.
Played for Halifax in the Quebec Maritime Junior Hockey League as well, and this puck will be touched up by Ferris State and icing against Bowling Green, who does get a change a minute ago, so they're not really skating too tired. Max Edegaki, the assist on the most recent goal by Gavin Best. That's his 3rd assist of the season. 2nd goal of the game for Ferris State. Josh Zeri with the 1st. Very experienced goals for Ferris State and rookie goals for the Falcons. All 3 of them for Bowling Green from freshmen. Gavin Best, he scored a goal. He's a senior. And Josh Zeri, he scored a goal, also a senior. All goals scored in this game from first-line players. Back into the offensive zone, 30 seconds left to play, and 4-on-4. Morneau just dodges a hit. That would have been a crushing one. He's behind the goal line, still battling. Quinn Emerson in there as well. Norris holds it inside the blue line from about wheel height. Morneau with some open ice, back out to the blue line. A nice shift already for Noah Morneau. Down the right wing, Crampton. His shot in, dropped down on the doorstep, pressured in by Noah Morneau. Morneau has had a very nice shift out here as he's done the last couple of games. Grabbing his stick is Brett Foe, and we're going to get a slashing, I believe, against Ferris State. And Xavier Jean-Louis looks like he's going to head off for 2.
And you hate to see that missed opportunity by Morneau. He sort of got a second chance because he hit it in toward the goal line, sort of bounced back out. He got another chance, but just couldn't get the right angle on it.
Still in the box is Logan Haru, so down 2 defensemen is Ferris State. They do skate 7 with the extra skater Logan Haru, so they're not hurting for a penalty kill here. 2 seconds before Haru comes out of the box. But they're still going to be down Jean-Louis, who's a pretty good defensive defenseman and a very good offensive defenseman, especially this year. Morneau for the draw, 1 back for Bowling Green, a 4-on-3 for the Falcons. Now both Minville and Haru come out of the box. Shot by Ryman, banked around. Tyler Hodson gets the goal, assisted by Dom Ryman, and the Falcons take a 4-2 lead.
Great play there by Hodson, just great awareness. Puck came right to him. He was able to nail it in. Native of Stratford, Ontario. Spent 2 years in the United States Hockey League. You can see that experience right there. Attempted shot by Ryman. Bounces out. Hodson puts it right in.
I have never seen more wide open goals than I have today. Dom Ryman with a shot on the backside off a wide open goal, and there Ryman fed it in to Tyler Hodson for the same. Maybe the easiest goal Hodson's had in his career. The transfer from RPI gives Bowling Green a 2-goal lead again.
The fans here being treated to a lot of scoring in this one.
Yeah, getting their money's worth here only in the 2nd period. 4-2 game, puck out to Hodson on the right wing boards in the Bowling Green end of the ice. 8:30 the time of the goal scored by Noah Morneau. 8:42 the time of the goal scored by Gavin Best here in the 2nd period. So Ferris State able to respond quickly. We're already past that mark in this 2nd period. But Bowling Green looking to hold on to this 2-goal lead and maybe take it into the 2nd intermission report in 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Hodson assisted by Ryman and Braden Crampton. All newcomers to the Falcons this season. Crampton, the defenseman, with his 3rd assist. Dom Ryman with his 4th assist, and Tyler Hodson with his 3rd goal.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of contributions up and down this Falcon roster today. 3 different scorers, just a lot of depth on this team and a lot of contribution.
Foe tips it in. Lundberg plays for Ferris State. Coming off of a win against Augustana are the Bulldogs. Looking to add another one today. Shot in from the point by Crampton is dropped down in front, and the Falcons can't get anything on it, and it is going to be a tripping call. And the Bowling Green Falcons are going to go on to a penalty kill. In the offensive zone, they committed that penalty. It's Jake Sloan.
Yeah, that's a pretty obvious one there with Sloan getting his stick right in there, tripping the ankle up. One of those calls you can't really argue with. Sloan, a native of Leduc County, Alberta, spent 6 seasons in the Western Hockey League. He's been around the block, 241 points in that league. Brings a lot of experience and a lot of veteran leadership to this team.
So Bowling Green on another penalty kill. Again, another opportunity for Ferris State to try and bring it within a 1-goal game. Rappel-J to the left wing, now down to the goal line. Low angle shot for Ferris State, misses the rack. To the left wing, Chris Lee holds it inside the blue line, fires it in, turns it over to the Falcons. They have a 3-on-2, shorthanded the other way. Karodiak out to the right wing, playing it in toward the net was Quinn Emerson, and it's skated away now by Ferris State. They have a 5-on-3. Emerson skates off, Levis skates on. Puck pinned up against the boards. Turn over to the Falcons. Noah Morneau with the puck. He'll fire it lightly off of the half wall and down to the other end of the ice. 1:20 left to play in the power play for Ferris State. 4:20 left to play here in the second period. Chris Lee with the puck, drops it back for Caden Brown. Caden Brown takes it up the middle, disks it to the right wing. Schleppe looks to pass the puck. He gets it out to the left wing at the point. Jean-Louis fires it down to the goal line. With the puck again, Schleppe a shot. Banks off the half wall and back into the back of the cage. Jean-Louis able to hold it inside the blue line on the left wing point. Schleppe turns the puck over and Bowling Green ices it back down. Ferris State will chase the puck back in their own end. Schleppe up with some numbers, but they turn it back over to Bowling Green and it's dumped back down. That was Dukovic with that turnover. Now up the right wing comes Messick. The defenseman, Jack Messick, played to McKinley. Bowling Green with the puck away. Led up. 15 seconds left to play and the puck outside the blue line for Bowling Green. It's slapped back in the offensive zone and now slapped back out by the Falcons. Dropped down to the ice. Duran was corralled by a stick away from the play. Now on the right wing. Back to the point. Fanned on his shot did Jack Messick. He falls down to the ice. Dropped down to the right wing. Played over into the middle. No shot in towards Steinman as Bowling Green defensemen were right on there, and the Falcons back to full strength. Jake Sloan down the left wing. Breakaway here. Nice shot and score! Jake Sloan, the freshman, what a goal! His first point and goal as a Falcon.
Absolutely unreal athleticism there. He sort of fakes the goal to the left, almost like breaking a defender's ankles in basketball, and then shoots it right in to the back of the net. Lundberg didn't know what hit him. Just a lightning quick cobra strike on that play by Jake Sloan. The Scotland native making noise here at the Slater.
An absolute dazzling goal. Save that puck. Jake Sloan as Hodson retrieves it. And Bowling Green now with a 5-2 lead over Ferris State with just under 3 left to play in the second period. Coming right out of the box, a heads-up play by Jake Sloan. Hodson off the boards, down back into the Ferris State end of the ice. Simonovic keeping the puck inside the blue line. You'd imagine, even with a 3-goal lead, that the Falcons will not take their foot off the gas. That's the mentality that's been instilled on these guys since Dennis Williams stepped into the Slater Family Ice Arena. Chipped up in the air, low angle shot there and corralled away. Wallach with a good defensive play to carry Connor Levis away from the cage as he got in way too tight for comfort. Lundberg still in the net. He's been beat 5 times. Crossing pass in by Brody Waters, looking for his first point of the game right now. Lead pass up and a breakaway here for Ferris State, and it's stifled pretty quickly. Tanner Rowe down the ice on the left wing. Bowling Green gets a change, so do the Bulldogs. Falcons with the puck in the offensive zone. Here's Jaden Grant, his shot in. Oh, wide open net again. Lundberg shuts it off, but it's carried away by Max Edegaki. Edegaki down the left wing. He's checked down to the ice by Stjernberg, and it's going to be a penalty. The hand was in the air even before Stjernberg delivered the hit. It's interference against the Goose. I don't know, Kevin. That looked close. The puck was right there.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that one, Ben. I mean, we know Stierenberg's going to be physical. I was almost like, who else but Stierenberg? Crowd not happy with the ref's decision on that one.
Saw the replay there. The puck was away from Itagaki, but not far enough, in my opinion, to be interference. And you have to expect Stierenberg to be able to finish his check there, which he did. And, you know, Kevin, might be part of the size differential as well, considering Itagaki's only 5'8".
5'6", I believe.
5'6", maybe. Stierenberg's 6'4".
Those were my thoughts as well. The size difference kind of made it look worse than it was.
It was a thundering check that Stierenberg delivered. Rappeljay with a shot off of the stick of Norris defensively, high into the air. Bowling Green looking to clear the puck back down. Karodiak battling on the right wing boards. Takes Itagaki out of the play. He's been worse for wear. Here's a breakaway for Ferris State. Oh, what a save by Steinman! Gavin Best working in tight with the rookie. And Steinman able to shut it off.
Yeah, unreal save there. I mean, Steinman really showing why he's the starting goalie for this team.
Chris Lee with the puck. Second defenseman on this power play unit to Jean-Louis. Jean-Louis, the shot chipped up high in the air. Josh Zary went off of his stick. Down behind the goal line, Zary looking for a pass. Gavin Best with a net front presence, and it's out to the blue line, and Messick. Jack Messick takes a step down. Jake Sloan clears the puck away, out to Jean-Louis. Jean-Louis to the right wing, Messick. Messick looking for a pass. He fires it into the slot. It's in tight with Steinman, but it will not get to him. Falcons able to clear it to the right wing boards. Ferris State still in the O-zone. Quick pass in. A nice play there, and Ferris State scores with 31 seconds left to play in the second. It's back to a 2-goal game.
Absolutely unreal scoring in this matchup. 8 goals already, and we're not even out of the second period. Looks like it was Josh Zary there with the goal. Just a textbook slap shot right into the net. Just absolutely textbook.
His 7th of the season. You see weak side there. A slap shot in. Zary got the deflection in front of the blue paint. A lot of the goals today have come from that distance. 5-3 Bowling Green leads. We're not even into the third period yet, but 30 seconds will be into the Marta Crow second intermission report. Ferris State into the offensive zone after the face-off win. Bowling Green's Dom Ryman off the half wall. He'll go chase with Trevor Talene. Ryman blows a tire, slides into the boards. Talene, he gets taken with Ryman. Incidental contact there. To the right wing, Tyler Schleppe can't hold on to the puck. He's pressed into the boards by Simonovic. Low angle shot there, back out to the blue line in the Ferris State O-zone. Taken away by Bowling Green and Simonovic, who skates out this second period. That was a very eventful one. 6 goals scored in the second period, 5-3. Bowling Green leads after 40 miles of skating, and we'll head into the Marta Crow second intermission report and the third period coming up in just a few moments. You're listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This week's Falcon Media Sports Network Athlete of the Week is men's basketball's Javonte Campbell. The senior guard from Muskogee, Oklahoma leads the nation with 17 steals and tied the program record with 8 steals against Lemoyne. He is averaging a steal every 5 minutes played this season. Last year, he set the BGSU single-season record with 90 steals. Campbell has 2 20-plus point games against Lemoyne and Bethany. You're seeing a very intelligent basketball player at his best, said head coach Todd Simon. In 3 games, the senior averaged 20.7 points while tallying 17 steals, 10 assists, and has a shooting percentage of 52%. This has been this week's Falcon Media Sports Network's Athlete of the Week.
What if you were wearing something sexy? What if you were drinking? What if you made the first move? No matter what, sexual assault is never your fault. Support is available 24/7 through the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Call 1-800-656-HOPE or visit RAINN.org. That's RAINN.org. This is Christina Ricci with RAINN, reminding you it's never your fault.
Brought to you by RAINN and this station.
BGSU Women's Cross Country begins their postseason with the NCAA Great Lakes Regional at Angel Mounds Cross Country Course in Evansville, Indiana on Friday, November 14th. Check out the recap of the event by Falcon Media Sports Network's Holden Ruck on bgfalconmedia.com.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/therightseat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces more feature stories about BGSU athletics than any other media outlet. Make sure to head over to bgfalconmedia.com and follow Falcon Media Sports Network at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date with all of our content.
Here's that song again! Here's that song again! For the 100th time today, here's that song again! It's gonna be stuck in your head all day! Here's that song again! It will make you cray cray!
You love your kids enough to watch that TV show a bajillion times. Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat for their age and size. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
BG men's basketball heads on the road for the first time this season after their best start over a decade, battling Davidson on Saturday, November 15th at 6 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kablitz and Artie Abrego will record a broadcast from North Carolina, which will be available at bgfalconmedia.com.
Nate Hinners here in the WBGU 88.1 FM studio with an update of what's going on in Falcon Athletics. The Bowling Green volleyball game has gone final up in Buffalo, and Bowling Green has won that in 3 sets. There you go. And going on over in women's basketball, the game now in the third quarter, 7:04 left in the third, and the Marquette Golden Eagles up on the Bowling Green Falcons, 36-31. Again, still in the third quarter for that one. That game, by the way, over on Falcon Radio right now, so if you want to tune over to that, or if you're on the BG Falcon Media website, I guess you can listen to both on the same time too, but also keep you updated here in the WBGU studio. That's a look at what's going on in Falcon Athletics. Now let's head on out to the Slater Family Ice Arena with Ben and Kevin for your second intermission report.
Thank you, Nate, for that opening to the second intermission report, the Mardi Gras second intermission report. A longtime BGSU hockey fan and listener of WBGU 88.1 FM. The namesake of our second intermission report is Mardi Gras, the now late wife of Rick Crow, who sponsored our first intermission report, is the reason that we got back traveling with Bowling Green hockey and call every game of Bowling Green hockey this season. We'll make sure that we have a broadcast. We had a very exciting second period here, Kevin, with 6 goals scored between these two teams. The Falcons still leading by a 2-goal mark, 5-3, but an explosion of offense. What have you seen from the Falcons and the Bulldogs that has spawned so much scoring?
Well, Ben, obviously just an absolute explosion in that second period. Very entertaining when it comes to offensive output, but also concerning just when you look at the Falcon defense, being disciplined. I mean, there was one sequence where the Falcons scored to pull ahead, and then 12 seconds of game time later, Ferris State scores again, almost like a transition play. So BG really needs to lock down those passing lanes, really needs to sort of crowd the slot and prevent those scoring opportunities for Ferris State, because we still got 20 minutes of hockey left, and honestly, after that period, anything could happen at this rate.
Dom Ryman scored 2 goals for Bowling Green in the first period. He gave Bowling Green a 2-0 lead heading into the second intermission. A power play goal by Josh Zeri to open up the second period with only 40 seconds expired, and then the explosion happened. Morneau at the 8:30 mark scored his 4th goal of the season. Gavin Best scored his 5th for Ferris State just 12 seconds later. Tyler Hodson scored a goal, assisted by Dom Ryman, who's got 3 points on the game so far. Hodson's third goal of the season. Right after that, Bowling Green added on to the lead with a Jake Sloan goal, unassisted, and then Josh Zeri on another goal in the expiring 30 seconds of that second period. It brings the Ferris State Bulldogs within 2 of the Falcons. They had a 3-goal deficit at one point and now are continuing to battle back. So these Bulldogs, Kevin, are not backing down, but I wonder in this period if we're going to see a new goaltender in net, because Martin Lundberg has just really not had it today. 5 goals given up, and he's been beat from behind the net probably 4 out of those 5 times.
Definitely Lundberg has surely struggled, and you got to wonder if putting a different guy in could at least give you some sort of spark when it comes to holding things down in the net. Mason West is available and addressed. Might be interesting to see him get some action as we enter the last 20 minutes.
Certainly the goaltending has not been prime for either side. You look to Martin Lundberg, who's got 11 saves and 5 goals allowed, although he's been tested a bit more than 11 saves tells you. Steinman's been better. He's got 12 saves and only 3 goals allowed, but still only an .800 save percentage. So not what you like to see statistically from these 2 goaltenders, but I think there's been some pretty nice saves from Jacob Steinman today, Kevin, especially on power plays. He's made a couple of nice stops on pretty high-quality Ferris State chances.
For sure, Steinman's really showing that athleticism and really showing why he's sort of made himself the front runner when it comes to being Bowling Green's starting keeper. He's just, I mean, obviously 6 foot, 185 pounds, so Steinman isn't the most massive goaltender, but he makes up for that with his athleticism, his quickness, and his skating work.
6 penalties committed by Bowling Green today, one of them an offsetting with Ferris State. So if you do not count that, it's only been 2 penalties to Ferris State for 5 for Bowling Green. Ferris State's capitalized on 1 of their 5 power plays. Bowling Green's capitalized on 1 of their 2 power play opportunities, and I don't believe anybody scored in the 4-on-4 that they had offsetting just a bit ago. Tyler Hodson with the power play goal for the Falcons, and Josh Zeri with the power play goal for the Bulldogs. Kevin, you look toward the third period, a Falcon team that had a 3-goal lead at one point, didn't really take their foot off the gas, although they did give up another goal. Just what do you want to see from this Falcon team going on into the third period?
Well, Ben, I want to see 2 things. First, I want to see just more discipline on defense, preventing sort of those fast break goals by Ferris State, really shutting down the passing lanes. And I also just want to see, more clean hockey, less penalties, making sure you keep 5 guys on the ice as much as possible and keeping yourself out of those penalty kill situations.
Bowling Green again being brought to not the greatest performance in staying out of the penalty box today. As we mentioned, 12 total minutes of penalty. The last one, a little bit of a questionable call. Our Falcon Media Director, Carl Smith, our advisor, I should say, kind of came over to us and said that he thought that call against Gustav Stjernberg, that interference against Max Itagaki, was a bit of a not too great of a call by the referees here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, but the Falcons still lead by 2 goals here in the slate in their second home series of the 2025-2026 season, a 2-goal lead over the Bulldogs in game 1 of this 2-night series. Around the rest of the CCHA, Minnesota State has taken a 1-goal lead on Lake State heading into the third period. Evan Murr assisted by Jacob Conrad. Conrad with an assist against his former team, a transfer for his sophomore year. Conrad played defense for Lake State last season and now plays defense for Minnesota State. And Evan Murr, fellow defenseman, scored a goal, and that's a 1-goal lead for Minnesota State heading into the final 20 minutes of play. And then Michigan Tech and Bemidji State, after 2 full periods of play, tied 1-1. Oliver Peer and Max Koskapirti, the 2 goal scorers. Peer for Bemidji State, Koskapirti for Michigan Tech. Those 2 teams sit atop the CCHA. Bemidji State with 14 points, Michigan Tech with 12. Right underneath them is Bowling Green with 11, and the Falcons' opponent today, Ferris State, with only 3. Looking like the Falcons have a good opportunity to take 3 points for the first time since Lake State 2 weeks ago now. You're listening to Bowling Green Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BG Hockey finishes their series against Ferris State at Slater Family Ice Arena on Saturday, November 15th. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korek and Nathan Burkett on the call at 6:07 p.m. before puck drop. Nate Henners and Andrew Helkowski will have a pregame show starting at 5:40 p.m. Make sure to tune in to WBGU 88.1 FM, your home for Falcon Hockey.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. Be the someone who gives their time. Be the someone who lends an ear. Be the someone who takes a step. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN, asking you to join the fight against sexual violence and volunteer in your community. Log on to rain.org, that's RAINN.org, to learn how you can be the someone.
This message brought to you by the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network and this station.
BG Women's Swim aims to stay undefeated on the season as they host the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley to Cooper Pool on Friday, November 14th and Saturday, November 15th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Dawson Pelter will have a recap of the meet on bgfalconmedia.com.
My daughter was diagnosed with a rare malignant rhabdoid tumor on the spine. They sent her straight to St. Jude. My hope was gone. But when you get there, everyone's like, hey, we're not going to give up. And when you see other people not giving up on your child, that makes all the difference in the world. When I found out I didn't have to pay, I was just grateful. They saved my baby's life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
This is Phil Beskid, BGSU Radio Faculty Advisor. You can catch all the Falcon Media Sports Network broadcasts on our two stations, WBGU 88.1 FM and Falcon Radio, which can both be found on bgfalconmedia.com. Ziggy.
Nate Henners here once again in the WBGU 88.1 FM studio, wrapping things up for our second intermission Marta Crow report. Again, another check on the BGSU women's basketball team. The basketball team now with 1:29 left in the third quarter, and the Monroe Golden Eagles expanding their lead 49-39. Again, that game going on over on Falcon Radio right now. Taking a look at what else is going on in Falcon athletics. The cross-country teams were in action today, taking on at the NCAA Great Lakes Regionals over in Evansville, Indiana. And for the women's team, they finished 6th out of 32 teams, while the men's finished 30th of 30 teams. Once again, BGSU volleyball was in action today up in Buffalo, New York. They won 3-1. And women's swim also in action taking on University of Texas Rio Grande Valley here in Bowling Green. That started this evening, and that continues throughout tomorrow. Taking a look at what's going on though in BGSU athletics tomorrow. Of course, women's swim continuing. Volleyball in action once again up in Buffalo. That's going on at 4 o'clock, and you can listen to that over on Falcon Radio. And something interesting about tomorrow's matchup, with their win tonight, the volleyball team only needs to win tomorrow to get into the MAC tournament for volleyball. So if they win tomorrow, they get into the MAC tournament. And again, that game's going on tomorrow at 4 o'clock over on Falcon Radio. Hockey back in action tomorrow night. Once again, taking on Ferris State. We'll have that here on WBGU again. And men's basketball taking on Davidson tomorrow night at 6 o'clock down in North Carolina. Unfortunately, due to volleyball on Falcon Radio and hockey here on WBGU, we cannot broadcast that men's basketball game, but we will have a rebroadcast of that as well as a recap of it on bgfalconmedia.com. So we will still have you covered with men's basketball tomorrow. That's look what's going on around Falcon Athletics this weekend. Again, a very busy weekend for Falcon Athletics, but there you go. And now time to get back to the Slater Family Ice Arena with Ben and Kevin. All right, guys, how's it going out there?
Going pretty good there, Nate. Nice job again in our Marta Crow second intermission report, walking us through what's going on in the Falcon Media Sports Network. For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter X. A heck of a recap that's going to have to be written today about this one. We've seen 8 goals so far through 40 minutes of play, 5 for Bowling Green, 3 for Ferris State. Ferris State takes it into the offensive zone. That's on the left side of your radio dial now. It's behind the goal. Ice back around to Talene. Talene with the puck, fires it in off the half wall and around wide. Josh Zeri, who's got 2 goals in this game, his 6th and 7th of the season so far. Back to Xavier Jean-Louis, who plays it up to center ice. Taken down the right wing by Tyler Schleppe. He's poked away by McKinley. McKinley gets his stick on this pass here. It's up into the roof and down into the glass and the offensive zone. Ben Korak and Kevin Hutchison from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Kevin, a very entertaining second period there. 3 goals scored by each side to keep it a 2-goal lead for the Falcons. But very exciting stuff to see here in the slate.
Definitely a very entertaining game of hockey, a lot of back and forth offense. And in this third period, we'll see if that continues or if they settle down more.
Simon has to cover up the goal quickly as the puck bounced over into a playable range as he was looking out the other side. Didn't know where the puck was there for a second. It's back outside the blue line. Ferris State's going to go all-out offense now. They're desperate for 2 goals. Probably need to get 1 before they have to pull the goalie. Their defense has not done them very well today, which is one of the keys to the game today for us, is to be able to protect Martin Lundberg, who still stands in the goal after giving up 5. Ferris State does have 4 goaltenders on their roster. Mason West, the only other goaltender that is dressed today. Jack Messick takes Simonovic out of the play. Puck away, defensive recovery for Brett Foe. Foe still with the puck, skates it behind his goal. He's still got it, now takes it up the left. Lead pass up to Brody Waters. Waters had a hat trick here in the Slater Family Ice Arena against Ferris State last season. Here's a chance for Jake Sloan as he took a backhand try at Lundberg. Back out to the blue line, in some offense for Bowling Green. Kept inside the blue line. Oh, it was offsides. Foe touched it. Back in the offensive zone, and we'll get a face-off in neutral ice.
And you know, as you said previously, Ferris State desperate for 2 goals. They are probably going to just be very aggressive on offense here. But I certainly think, you know, if BG scores again, they would have no choice but to take Lundberg out of the net.
We'll have to take him out of the net when it gets to around the 3-minute mark, or at least start thinking about it, as they're trailing by 2 now. Here's a lead pass up. Riley Wallach to the right wing, shot in, cleared away. A nice save by Steinman, who stepped out of the crease to make it. Wallach to the right wing, Jack Silich. Silich has got a goal and an assist against Bowling Green in his career. Looking to add points onto that. Wallach's got an assist today. His puck is taken away by Breck McKinley. Outside of the blue line, now Ben Duran streaking down the right wing. He takes a quick shot in off of the stick of Chris Lee, defenseman for Ferris State, and up into the netting. Chris Lee played only 1 game against Bowling Green last season, didn't record any stats playing defensively. That game was up in Big Rapids, where Ferris State has their home arena, but scored 3 points in the first series against Miami of Ohio this season. That was the first series of the season for Ferris State. All assists, and he's got no points since. Does Christopher Lee. Until today, he did assist on the first goal for Ferris State today, the power play goal by Josh Zeri. His first in a while. It's got to feel good for the defenseman. Shot in from the point by Niedermeyer is off of the stick, caromed over into the high slot and peeled away by Ferris State. And kind of a 4-on-4 the other way if they play the numbers right, but they can't. Gavin Best spun down to the ice. A good check there by Sternberg, who's played so well defensively today. Puck back into the offensive zone. Offsides is Gavin Best on a 2-on-1. So it'll come outside of the zone, and an opportunity whistled away.
And this is where, you know, both teams are really staying aggressive. You know, BG's defense has been a little bit more leaky than they would like it to be, and they're trying to just maintain the advantage.
Braden Crampton down the right wing, 5-3. Bowling Green leads here with 16:45 left to play in the third period. Tyler Schleppe on the right wing. Grant finishes his check, gets out to center ice, slapped up by Simonovic, who extra skating defenseman has played quite a bit today. Working in a lot for Dalton Norris and Breck McKinley, both teams skating 7 defensemen. It hasn't helped them too much on the defensive side, considering they've given up 8 goals between the two teams. And offside against Ferris State again.
And that really shows how much things can vary week to week in the CCHA. You know, on paper, you'd expect BG to allow more goals against Minnesota State than they would against Ferris State, but the opposite has been true in this one.
Puck at center ice, won back by Ferris State. Bowling Green leads in faceoffs, won 30-23 now. McKinley plays the puck wide to Norris. Foe slaps it outside of the blue line. Collecting it is Max Dukovic. Puck at center ice, pinned up against the boards. Dukovic has spun down to the ice, scored 10 points last season with Miami of Ohio in the NCHC, 5 goals and 5 assists. So far this season, he's scored an assist, and that's it. Here in tight, Waters looking for a net front goal, and the pass is fired wide of him. A very hot pass in there from the right wing. Jake Sloan looking for a second point of the game. Scored his first point in his career in NCAA hockey, and a goal with 17 minutes expired in the second period. First goal, first point of his season and of his career.
And you know, with how collegiate hockey is with these guys spending so much time in the juniors, whether it's the USHL, the NAHL, the WHL, they're very experienced even in their first collegiate starts.
Playing the puck back is Valtteri Pirinen. We haven't seen his name too much, as Logan Haru has played very well, extra skating defense. Most probably will be in a complete defensive pairing tomorrow based on how well he's played today, although did take a penalty. Bowling Green in the offensive zone with the puck down to the right wing. It's up in the corner. Connor Levis plays it around. Simonovic will step inside the blue line, pins it up against the boards. Crampton will guard the blue line on his side. Now Minville up at the blue line to play kind of a defensive position. Minville a shot in from distance is blocked wide. Behind the goal, played by Pirinen, around to Quinn Emerson. Emerson's got 2 assists today. He wraps it around the other side, the right side. Crampton at the point. His shot in, deflected just wide of Martin Lundberg in net for Ferris State. He's had a tough day today. Emerson's dropped down on the ice, a tripping call coming here against Tulane. That's his second penalty of the game. Bowling Green will head onto their third power play of the game and try and convert their second power play goal.
And I think here you have an opportunity to sort of throw the dagger, if you will, and kind of seal the victory. I mean, getting a 3-goal advantage in the third period. Something the Falcons are definitely going to look to aim for now that they have that 5-4 advantage.
Tulane pretty far the leader in penalties for Ferris State. Josh Zeri's got 20. Trevor Tulane has 23, and he's added 4 minutes today. Morneau, shot, score! Morneau with the shot in. Brody Waters was screening. Don't know if he got a tip. Noah Morneau will lead the charge and get his second goal of the game.
Absolutely incredible by Morneau. Just a textbook slap shot from mid-range. Finds the opening in the defense and just brings it right home. Lundberg has no answer. You see Lundberg sort of throwing his head back in frustration, realizing that he will probably be taken out at some point soon, right through his legs for the goal.
A deep shot there by Morneau. Pretty much the first goal scored today for the Falcons, maybe either team, that's from decent distance. Brody Waters in the puck outside the blue line, played by McGrath. McGrath back into his defensive zone, and the Falcons will go on the forecheck here. 6-3, Bowling Green leads. Noah Morneau assisted by Dominic Ryman and Braden Crampton. Ryman and Crampton combined for the last power play goal that was scored by the Falcons, Tyler Hodson's goal. Niedermeyer misses his check, puck back into the Bowling Green end. Sternberg plays it Caden Brown in on the forecheck. A good play there by Niedermeyer to get the puck away to Adam Zlinka. Zlinka's been a bit quiet today, but scored a goal in the first game against Minnesota State in the 4-4 tie and a Bowling Green shootout loss. Here's Jaden Grant down behind the goal line. Pressed up, Caden Brown, puck away, and Ferris State forces it up outside their blue line. Pass a bit long for Rappeljay, and it'll be whistled dead on an icing against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, just a bit going back to that goal by Morneau earlier, just a bit of a defensive breakdown for Ferris State. Not ideal, being down by 3 in the third period. They might consider either a goaltender change or emptying the net at some point, maybe in 5 or 6 minutes.
Stay tuned to the post-game show. We'll talk about our Bill and Karen Hoffert stars of the game, and it's going to be a pretty tough choice going all around. Morneau with 2 goals, Dom Ryman with 2 goals, 2 assists, Braden Crampton, Quinn Emerson, and Jackson Niedermeyer, each with 2 assists apiece. And individual goals for Jake Sloan, the first of his career, and Tyler Hodson, the first of the game, his first point, adding on to point in 7 of the last 8 games played is Tyler Hodson, who's been a very influential transfer for Bowling Green. Still with 6 goals on the board, the Falcons have not yet scored a goal with a returner, at least today, and impressive in one sense. We'll take a quick step back here as referees are discussing something with Brett Riley. You're listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
And it looks like we're going to get a review here maybe. The Falcons are skating over to the bench. Don't know what the review is on. There was no penalty. We'll get the call here from they're challenging for a missed major penalty. Ferris State is. Referees today, Derek Berkebile, Stephen McKinchick, Nick Huff, and Patrick Giles, regulars here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, reviewing for a major. Don't know if we'll see the replay here to see what they're seeing, but that'd be a pretty brutal missed call if you're going from a no call to a major penalty.
Yeah, I think part of the motive for this, if you're Ferris State, one, you're stopping play, giving your players just a moment to not only rest up but try to refresh. And also, you're down by 3 in the third period. You're trying to do whatever you can to try to get back in this game. And so this is a long shot, but if it pays off, it could certainly help.
There we saw it, Brett Foe at a hit against Dukovic. A big check, possibly knee to knee, could be the major there. But Foe actually going to miss the check, or at least catch less of the body of Dukovic, so I don't think there's going to be anything there. If you are Ferris State, though, if you miss it, you lose your timeout, but you're not really going to be using that. If it stands right now, you're trailing 3 goals. And
right. It's
a 5-minute major would not pull the goalie out of the box when you score a goal anyway. So you could just add on as many as you can on a game that's been pretty poorly played defensively.
For sure. This is a case where Ferris State has a lot to gain from this call going their way, and not really much to lose if it doesn't go their way. But that play, it almost looked like just a play of momentum. Both guys kind of running into each other. Not sure if there's anything that could have been done by either of them to prevent the collision.
There is no major penalty, an unsuccessful challenge for Ferris State, and the timeout will be wasted and just waste some of our time here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. Although you certainly got your money's worth had you paid for a seat today. 9 goals scored, 6 by the Falcons. All 6 scored by new players to Bowling Green this season. 2 for Dom Ryman, a freshman, 2 for Noah Morneau, a freshman, 1 from Tyler Hodson, a junior transfer from RPI, and then 1 for Jake Sloan, a freshman. Crampton down to the right wing. Minville looks to force it in. Crampton a shot, it's directed down. Back on the slot there is Connor Levis. Levis gets the puck swept away. It's Jeremy Minville now on the left wing, back up to the blue line. Simonovic dumps it back down. Duran will chase. Crampton will play the puck into the corner. Duran in there with Crampton as well, and Ferris State gets it outside of the zone. Rappeljay up to Emerson Good. Good in the offensive zone. Bowling Green back in numbers. Menville will skate away, get a change. Crampton and Simonovic back on defense for Bowling Green. Morneau and Ryman, who each have 2 goals. The best scoring freshmen for Bowling Green this season. The leaders in goals scored as well. Back down at the goal line. Puck over in tight with Lundberg, which has been a dangerous spot. Slapped in by Norris. Puck carried away by Ferris State. Out to center ice and a 2-on-1 for Ferris State. Max Itagaki on the right wing. His pass across to Best is deflected in. Maybe off of the defenseman of Bowling Green, but a score for Ferris State to bring them within 2 once again, 6-4.
That was a great drive there by Itagaki, just very fluid skating, athletic skating, pushing his way through the slot, and just not much Steinman can do there. I mean, it was forced sort of right between his legs. He worked his way past Breck McKinley, got the angle on it, and now the Bulldogs have a bit of a fighting chance. You still have 12 minutes of hockey left. Bit more life breathed into that team.
Goalie more than likely going to be pulled, and then 3 minutes or so for Ferris State to try and get 2 goals on the board, but it'd be nice for the Bulldogs to be able to score between now and then to make sure they only need 1 when they pull the goalie, because 2 with the goalie pulled is a tall order. Itagaki at the 7:40 mark brought it back to a 2-score game that it's been a couple of times in the second period, now once in the third period as well. Wallach with the puck. He gets it mugged by Niedermeyer defensively. Up to Jake Sloan down the right wing. He's got Brett Foe in the middle. Jake Sloan down the right wing. He peels it back away. Now dumps it down to Sloan on the backhand. Or to Foe on the backhand. Foe in the left wing corner. Zlinka up to the blue line. Simonovic dumps it in off the half wall. Banked into the right wing corner. Sloan, the freshman, first goal and point of the season today. Crampton down. Now with the puck at the point. Blue line down to Brett Foe. Foe a shot off of the stick of Wallach. Into the center of the ice. Ferris State pulls it away. It's Riley Wallach down the right wing. Fired in off the glass. Simonovic will be the first to the puck. Plays it back behind the goal line in the Bowling Green zone. Crampton wears a check. Puck away to the right wing. Connor Levis in front of his own bench. Here's Schleppe. Schleppe's played the puck quite a bit today and don't believe that he's got credit for a point so far. Worked the puck in tight to Steinman and pretty easily shut off. Not a big angle for Schleppe or for McGrath. They're trying to get some offense going for the Bulldogs. 10:38 left to play here in the third period. 6-4. Bowling Green leads the Bulldogs in game 1 of a 2-game series this weekend. The second series of the home season for Bowling Green hockey. Next week they'll be on the road in St. Thomas. Nathan Burkett will be in Minneapolis for that game between Bowling Green and St. Thomas. St. Thomas, one of the better teams in the CCHA, although them and Minnesota State, maybe the 2 teams to beat, are neither one of the top 2 teams. At least so far, Michigan Tech and Bemidji State doing battle in Houghton for a battle for the top, both sitting at number 1 and number 2. Puck to center ice. Pieranen plays it. Emerson intercepts it and takes it up the left wing. He takes it down to the goal line, tries to cross it into the slot. It gets chipped up in the air over to Emerson, who pins it up. In to Morneau! Morneau scores! Morneau off of the pass from behind the goal by Jeremy Minville. A hat trick for the rookie. His 4th, 5th, and 6th goals of the season, and the hot streak continues for Noah Morneau.
Just an unbelievable play by Noah Morneau. He's waiting right there at the dot and hits it right into the top of the net over the goaltender's shoulder. Hat trick by Morneau. Just an incredible night for the new addition to this Falcon team.
7-4. Bowling Green leads Ferris State. 9:41 left to play in the third period. We still got time to add some more. Stjernberg to Niedermeyer, the defensive pairing, flips it up the ice into the offensive zone. Noah Morneau still on the ice. It looked like the hat trick was going to be Dom Ryman's. He scored the first 2 goals of the game. Here's a quick wrist shot into the chest of Lundberg, who's still in the goal for Ferris State. It looked like it was going to be Ryman, but ends up being Morneau. 2 goals in the third period, 1 in the second as we come into the third media timeout of the game, and this one brought to you by Juniper Brewing Company, located at 145 South Main Street, downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee and craft beer and serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. 7 goals for Bowling Green, 4 goals for Ferris State. About half of the third period left to play. You're listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU football begins match and play against Akron on Tuesday, November 18th at Deutsch L. Perry Stadium. Tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network Tyler Kavlitz and Sean Connolly at 7 p.m. for kickoff. There will also be an in-studio pregame, halftime, and postgame show hosted by Nate Hinners, Artie Abrego, and Brendan Fagan, all starting at 6:35 p.m. on Falcon Radio.
Check out more Falcon athletic coverage on X at BG_FMSN.
The last Bowling Green player to record a hat trick versus a conference opponent, Brody Waters, in 2024 on November 2nd here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. The second game of that weekend, a 5-4 Bowling Green win. Brody Waters with 3 power play goals that day. The freshman Noah Morneau comes up with a power play goal and 2 extra, and he gets the first hat trick of his career in the young forward's rookie season here in the orange and brown.
Yeah, Morneau really climbing up the stat sheet. Came into this game with 5 points on the season, added 6 points to his season total with tonight's performance. He's just been an offensive engine for this BG team.
Assisted by Jeremy Minville, his first assist of the season, and Quinn Emerson, his 3rd assist of the game and 7th assist of the season. Emerson headed into today with only 4 assists and comes away as one of the leading scorers for the Falcons. Dom Ryman making a bid for that as well. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists. Noah Morneau with his 3 goals, the goal leader for the Falcons. Just a crippling hit, and getting into it a bit now is Connor Levis. Oh, big blast going on here in front of the Bowling Green student section. Pulled away is Josh Zeri. Some big stuff being thrown here behind the goal of Lundberg, right in front of the Bowling Green student section. A couple of guys got tarps off. Zeri's a bit worse for wear. Zlinka's getting into it a bit with Gavin Best there. No punches thrown, no gloves dropped, no buckets off, but some extreme extracurriculars that force the whistle.
Yes.
And we'll be skating off.
And right in front of the student section glass, the bleacher creatures going crazy for that fight there. Tension's obviously running high. I mean, this has been a very physical, very chippy game. Not surprising at all.
Josh Zeri skated away from the head referee by one of the linesmen, and he's put into the box. I believe he was the one that tied up Connor Levis when Levis was out on the ground. To it, Levis took exception. And we'll see if a Bowling Green player is going to get a penalty there as well. Certainly instigated by Ferris State, I would say. Here's the play. Oh, Haru is just absolutely clobbered by Adam Zlinka, it looks like. And Zlinka gave a check to him at the end of the play. And then Josh Zeri worked in and gave a bump to Zlinka after the whistle blew. And Hodson and Stjernberg started defending his guys. Gavin Best got in there, so did Jaden Grant.
Students were pounding the glass, watching it unfold there.
What haven't we seen from this hockey game?
It's been absolute fireworks here on the ice today.
Referees and linesmen still trying to work out who's going to be getting the gate, either from Bowling Green or extras from Ferris State as well. A 7-4 lead for Bowling Green, back up to 3 with the most recent goal by Noah Morneau. His 6th of the season, his 3rd of the game. And somebody for Bowling Green's going to get tossed. Or at least that was the gesture the linesman made. Norris and Gavin Beston toward the referees getting the calls.
The crowd waiting with bated breath.
They're making an announcement here. Didn't hear exactly what they said. Norris skates back to the bench, and he's talking to head coach Dennis Williams about what's going to happen.
I believe they said the play is under review.
Coming out of the box is Josh Zeri, so they are going to step in and review, and we'll take a step back, bring you back when we have an answer here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. 7-4, Bowling Green leads with 9:05 left to play in the third. You're listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
What if you were wearing something sexy? What if you were drinking? What if you made the first move? No matter what, sexual assault is never your fault. Support is available 24/7 through the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Call 1-800-656-HOPE or visit RAINN.org. That's RAINN.org. This is Christina Ricci with RAINN, reminding you it's never your fault.
Brought to you by Rain and this station.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces more feature stories about BGSU athletics than any other media outlet. Make sure to head over to bgfalconmedia.com and follow Falcon Media Sports Network at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date with all of our content.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
BG men's basketball heads on the road for the first time this season after their best start over a decade, battling Davidson on Saturday, November 15th at 6 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kablitz and Artie Abrego will record a broadcast from North Carolina, which will be available at bgfalconmedia.com.
What kind of help does the IRS have for identity theft victims?
If you suspect you're a victim of tax-related identity theft, go to irs.gov/identity theft to learn how to prevent potential refund fraud and protect your tax account. At the IRS, combating tax-related identity theft is a top priority, and we are committed to prevention, detection, and assisting victims. And we're working with law enforcement to catch the criminals. For more info, go to irs.gov/identity theft to learn what the IRS is doing to help protect you.
Whether the Falcons are at the Slater Family Ice Arena or out on the road, the Falcon Media Sports Network is covering them all season long.
Back here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, Derek Berkebile, Stephen McKinchick, both out of the penalty box. Both Tyler Hodson and Josh Zeri, it looks like, back in the boxes for the Falcons and the Bulldogs. Norris and Gavin Best will skate back to their benches, the two captains. Oh, so Adams Linka's given a penalty. So is Josh Zeri. So is Tyler Hodson. And it looks like Ferris State's going to go onto the power play somehow. I don't really understand considering Ferris State instigated in their own zone. It was a clean hit by Adams Linka on Logan Haru. I'm a bit perplexed by that.
Yeah, Ben, I'm definitely perplexed by that. Not really sure what the refs were thinking about during that meeting of the minds, but I'm not sure how you can see that sequence and believe that Ferris State should have a power play. Just a strange call.
At least offsetting and make it a 4-on-4. Nevertheless, it's a Ferris State power play. Lee is able to hold the puck in the offensive zone. It's cleared down by Bowling Green. Jackson Niedermeyer on that recovery. 7-4. Bowling Green leads. 9 minutes exactly left to play in the third period. Ferris State has been able to score 2 power play goals. Steinman plays the puck there with some forecheckers incoming, and Morneau ices it down the other end of the ice. So Noah Morneau not only has a hat trick, but he's been a staple on the penalty kill, as he is right now, and skates off. And his play without the puck has been extraordinary. Same for Dom Ryman, who's played on penalty kill. He's played on power play. He's got 4 points in this game so far. And both just freshmen for this Falcon team.
And, you know, I think those freshman contributions, it shows Dennis Williams' ability to really recruit and really get guys who want to play for him.
Noah Morneau did the rinkside rundown this week. And talked to him a little bit. Those always posted on the BG Falcon Media Instagram and Twitter account. Rinkside rundowns this week with Noah Morneau. Talked about his time with Windsor and the Ontario Hockey League. And Dom Ryman played in the WHL for Everett. Here's a shot in by Jack Messick. It's chipped up high in the air, back behind the goal of Steinman. 45 seconds left to play in the power play. Down back behind the goal line, Niedermeyer plays it around, out to the blue line. Xavier Jean-Louis. Jean-Louis down to the left wing to Schleppe, back to Jean-Louis at the top. To the right wing, Messick. Messick with the puck, working in kind of down to the goal line. Bowling Green in their diamond defensive formation. Emerson, Niedermeyer. Sternberg with a diving play to kick the puck into the corner. He gets it pinned up against the corner now, and a battle between Schleppe and him to get the puck away. Puck is away. Niedermeyer has the puck high in the air and pins it up behind the goal. Working in tight, shot off of Steinman, off of his chest. Caden Brown with the puck down to the goal line. Working in tight, fed in, and a score. Brown, Dukovic, and Schleppe all working for that goal right there. Don't know who exactly got the tip, but a power play goal with 6 seconds left as Hodson will come out of the box.
And you know, that was a great example by Ferris State of getting Steinman to move east and west. They got him to move toward the left side of the net, and then they just dumped the puck right into the right side of the net. There was probably a good foot of separation between his skate and the puck. Just a great example of spacing and of sort of psyching out the goaltender.
Caden Brown has given his first goal of the season. Scored with 7:11 left to play in the third period. The referee is now discussing who's going to come out of the box for the Falcons, Zlinka or Hodson. And still, you look back to that scrum that went on behind Lundberg and the Ferris State end, off of the hip by Zlinka, a power play given to Ferris State that they scored on.
Yeah,
and an odd happening that Ferris State was given a power play on a fight that they instigated.
Yeah, definitely an odd turn of events and very frustrating for these fans. I mean, ref just made an announcement.
Yeah, referee in the Ferris State penalty box, not reviewing because Josh Zeri still sits in the sin bin.
Because, you know, even though Bowling Green still has a 2-goal advantage, I mean, you hate to see a goal. If you're a Bowling Green fan, you hate to see that goal awarded to Ferris State because, as you said, kind of odd for Ferris State to get a power play, even though they instigated the extracurricular on the other end of the ice a few minutes ago.
And again, it's an earned goal. It was a very nice play and very nicely tipped in front. Steinman now has given up 5 on the scoreboard if the goal stands. Referee's still working it, but you hope that it was offsetting there and you don't have to be talking about this situation. Reset to 7:06. Goal will still stand. Zeri and Zlinka will still sit in the box. And now Berkebile talking to Brett Riley, head coach for Ferris State. A lot of film and analysis probably going to go into this game today for both sides.
100%. I mean, we've seen something of a defensive breakdown by both teams. I mean, you don't want to be allowing 5 goals or 7 goals on a game-to-game basis. And when you go up against the class of the CCHA, whether it's Minnesota State, Bemidji State, St. Thomas, you can't afford to have that kind of a leaky defense. And so I think both of these teams are really going to be hitting the film room in the upcoming week.
12 goals scored in this game. 7 by Bowling Green, 5 by Ferris State. Most goals scored and most goals given up by the Falcons this season. Bowling Green Dennis Williams still getting an explanation from a linesman and a referee in front of his bench. 5 on the ice for Ferris State, 5 going to be on the ice for Bowling Green. Only the defensemen skate out. It's Norris and McKinley. Both teams also cooling off here as we sit here in idle. You see the guys getting a little bit restless, trying to just play the game and skate out what's been an absolute whale of a game. 12 goals scored in any game. Takes quite a sizable distance.
For sure, and I think if you're BG for the rest of this game, you just got to focus on playing lockdown defense. I mean, you've already scored 7 goals, so your offense really isn't an issue. You got to find a way to get disciplined on defense, not allow any more goals, and just close this one out convincingly.
So now we're back out and ready to drop puck. Still Zlinka and still Zary in their respective goals. The tip in front was Caden Brown as he slid into the slot. Pass intended for Tyler Schleppe, and it was kind of intercepted. The goal stands. Bowling Green leading by 2 again. 7 minutes left to play in the third period. Brown assisted by Dukovic and Schleppe. Both of their first points of the game. Ferris State out to the right wing. Tallene fires it in, slowed down by Steinman behind the goal, but not stopped. Carried over to Norris. Norris gets the puck free. Dom Ryman in center ice, flips it up the left wing side to Brody Waters. Waters can't chase it down. It's just back out to center. Ferris State reverses field, looking to put together some offense. They still need 2 goals to climb back in, although they've scored 5 today. Emerson Good finishes his check. Lead pass up to Dom Ryman. Dom Ryman's got 2 goals. Both of them in the first period. Hasn't scored since, but he assisted on a goal by Noah Morneau and a goal by Tyler Hodson, both in the second. That's how he got his 4 points today. Brody Waters up the right wing. Foe skates away with the puck. Good pass across to the left wing, but it's tipped away. Jake Sloan on the backside. Here's Brody Waters. Waters working in tight with Lundberg. Poked it through the legs. Brody Waters scores. If it stands as him, it's his first of the season. And the junior does get his first of the season. Jake Sloan and Brett Foe with the assists.
And you know, Waters has always been aggressive. He had 100 shots on goal this last season. This one goes right through the legs of Lundberg, even though Lundberg was in the butterfly position trying to prevent it. Not enough to stop Waters from having his way.
I mean, they are just leaving Martin Lundberg out to dry in net for Ferris State. Mason West is dressed, but has yet to play a game this season. You feel like this would have been the game to do it, but
at this point, I think you got to give him his shot. I mean, you're down by 3, less than 6 minutes left in regulation. Having Lundberg in isn't really doing much, either for Lundberg or for the team as a whole.
BG with the puck back in their own zone, dumps it around. Now back up to a 3-goal lead for the Falcons, who have contributed 8 to a 13-goal performance today in front of a crowd here in the Slater Family Ice Arena that we've seen started to clear out a bit because, you know, it's pretty much all but known what's going to happen in this game or how it's going to finish. But now instead of asking how, they are asking how many.
Although you do see that student section still sticking around, dedicated as ever. A big part of what makes games so special here at the Slater.
Crampton holds the puck. This is out to the left side, off of Zlinka's stick, and it's played by Lundberg behind his goal. Out to the blue line, Crampton able to hold it in. It's down to Grant, pinned up against the right wing boards. A couple of Bulldogs in there, 3 actually to get the puck free, and they do. They got to make sure that Bowling Green doesn't waste time, as the Falcons haven't taken took their feet off the gas so far, but you know, with a 3-goal lead and only 4.5 left to play in the third, you might want to just park the bus and skate out a win here in the Slater Family Ice Arena.
And you know, but I actually feel like the Falcons kind of were taking their foot off the gas, but that Ferris State defense has just given them easy opportunities to score, and they've just taken those opportunities. They haven't even had to create opportunities. They've just taken the ones that they've been given.
Norris and McKinley almost an ozone turnover, but they get the puck free. Jake Sloan runs it in to the Ferris State end of the ice. It's back out to Ferris State. They take it up through center. Good fires it in over the head of Steinman. Steinman's made 15 saves today, allowed 5 goals. He's made some pretty nice stops. Hasn't been helped too much by defense, but the offense has just functioned at such a high level that hasn't truly mattered what the defense has done. Haven't been able to stop either side. Tipped up high in the air. Lee and Duran will rush back for the puck. Minville completes a check on Chris Lee. And now down the right wing comes Tanner Rowe. Rowe looking for a pass. He passes it across the slot and just misses his man streaking toward the net. Lee dumps it back down on the right wing now. Jack Silich. Silich back around for Dukovic. Dukovic back up to the blue line. Slap shot in. Tipped off of Jack Silich's stick. Up high in the air over the net of Steinman. Still in the offensive zone is Ferris State. 3:20 left to play here in the third period. An empty net for Ferris State. A try for it by Bowling Green is going to be called an icing. First time Lundberg's been off the ice so far today, and it's honestly probably about 3 or 4 goals too late.
I think it definitely is. I think taking him out sooner would have behooved this team. What's incredible for Bowling Green, in just 22 shots, they have 8 goals. That's basically 1 out of every 3 shots materializing in a score. Just great offensive output for the Falcons.
Duran back behind the goal line. Sternberg looks to ice it down. He finally does to the other end of the ice, but not an attempt on the goal. It's going to be an icing against the Falcons. Playing with 5 to Ferris State's 6. 3:05 left to play in the third period, so we have a chance for Bowling Green to put a 9th goal on the board.
Honestly, at this point in the game, if you're a BG, you want to see some of your players who maybe don't get as many minutes, just see what they can do in a game situation here.
Yeah, you wish you didn't have to set a line so you get some guys in, get them some work. But you see the 4th line out there quite a bit for the Falcons. Not a single line has played poorly today. They've all been able to find a score some way, an assist, a goal. All of them have contributed defensively as well. Durkovic back on the right wing boards. McKinley battling for the puck. Gavin Best has it. Best is taken out of the play by Niedermeyer. Still 6-on-5 for Ferris State. Puck behind the goal line. Jeremy Minville. I'm sorry, that's Quinn Emerson, number 18, instead of number 8. Up with the puck, back down behind the goal line. Edegaki gets the puck away, out to the blue line. Dom Ryman gets the puck up. Ryman's got 2 goals. If he can get a try at the empty net, he could try for his hat trick, but it's cleared away and out to neutral ice. Edegaki back down, 2 minutes left to play in the third period. Still no goalie for Ferris State. Bowling Green's got clear possession. McKinley off of the glass, kept inside the blue line nicely by Jack Messick with the hand. His shot in, blocked, try down the ice by Dom Ryman. Oh, just wide of the goal. Ryman was searching for his 3rd, and he missed by 2 inches.
Yeah, that was incredibly close, just wide right of the net. The crowd would have gone berserk if that one would have gone in.
So 1:45 to try. Third period, 3-goal lead for the Falcons. Ferris State needs 3 in the next 1 3/4 to tie. Sternberg out to the right wing blue line. Logan Haru to the middle. Kaden Brown has a goal recently. Saved by Steinman, kicked away. A nice try there. But even better save by the freshman goaltender. Sternberg launches it high in the air. A try for the empty net. Sternberg got in, ices the game.
Absolutely incredible. Incredible play.
The Goose with his 2nd goal of the season. It's an empty netter. That if the game wasn't over, it is now.
And that wasn't even a shot that glided along the ice. It went up in the air, flipped end over end, bounced a couple of times, and went right into the middle of the Ferris State net.
Could be unassisted, almost from the Bowling Green goal line. That goal was scored from one knee. And an impressive offensive output for the Falcons today. And as amazing as it sounds, not a bad defensive performance today, even though they gave up 5 goals. Tanner Rowe's going to be given a penalty here, slashing, and coming out of the net is Jacob Steinman. Whistle will blow as Ferris State gets a touch, and Bowling Green will play the last minute 8 with an extra man.
And it looks like Lundberg is back in the net for Ferris State.
At this point, why even put in a different goalie?
Right, not the most sensible choice in this situation. Doesn't really help to have him in there. Down 4 points with a minute left.
Duran in for the draw, 9-5. Bowling Green leading Ferris State with a minute left. Back out to the blue line. Norris loses track of the puck. He couldn't really see it. It's turned over out to center ice to Ferris State and then turned back to Bowling Green. A 5-on-4 for the Falcons on the power play here with Ferris State, who's, they're going to have to score 4 goals in 50 seconds, so it's as over as it can get without being over. Dalton Norris with the puck. Down the left wing, leaves it back for Brett Foe. Brett Foe up at the Bowling Green logo. Duran to the left wing. Quinn Emerson to Ben Duran. Ben Duran behind the goal, played by Foe. Back around to Stjernberg, who scored the empty net goal just a bit ago. Fired out by Ferris State. Now carried out by Jack Silich. Silich gets the puck poked away. Dalton Norris into the left wing corner. 4 Falcons in there to try and peel the puck out. Silich pressing the puck. And it's back behind the goal to Brett Foe. Foe with 10 seconds left to play in the third period. Braden Crampton now at the puck, and Bowling Green's going to skate with their first regulation home win of the 2025-2026 season, a high-scoring one. 14 goals scored, 9 for the Falcons, 5 for Ferris State. The Falcons up to 3-1-3 in CCHA play and take the 3 points. Much needed over the Ferris State Bulldogs as they continue for their quest at a lead here in the CCHA early in the season.
Just an amazing game.
What a game.
Amazing game here, Ben. If this was someone's first time ever watching collegiate hockey, what an exciting outing. You see Morneau with his hat trick. All kinds of guys up and down the roster contributing. That open net goal by Stjernberg. Even some fighting and some extracurricular sort of adding drama. Just an incredible game and just an offensive masterclass as BG really, really manhandled the Bulldogs in this game.
Bowling Green final score 9-5. They beat Ferris State at home. They play again tomorrow. We're going to bring you our post-game show and our Bill and Karen Hoffert stars of the game in just a little while from myself and Kevin here in Slater Family Ice Arena. You're listening to Bowling Green Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media takes pictures for nearly all BGSU and Bowling Green related events throughout the year. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com, check out thousands of photos and all the content.
Did you know that pet stores obtain bearded dragons from a massive breeding warehouse in Xenia, where around 15,000 of these lizards are kept in row after row of barren plastic tubs? A whistleblower saw desperately thirsty dragons deprived of water and severely injured animals left to suffer without care. That same person also found dead dragons by the dozens. Always adopt, never buy animals, and don't shop at stores that sell them. Go to PETA.org to learn more.
On August 28, 2025, BGSU football running back Cameron Petaway returned at kickoff 97 yards for a touchdown on the first play of the season against Lafayette. The second straight year, the Falcons found pay dirt on the first play of the campaign. Falcon Media Sports Network Sean Connolly had the call of the moment on Falcon Radio.
Dumont kicks it away, and we are underway in the 2025 football season, and it will be returned. Like he's got an opening, and will we see it again? There he goes. He's at the 50. There he goes for the second straight year. He will be gone. 2 years in a row, Cameron Petaway Touchdown Falcons! Unbelievable!
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
You are tuned into live BGSU hockey coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM from the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Back here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, Bowling Green with a 9-5 win over Ferris State in the first game of their 2-game series this weekend. Their first series against Ferris State, second series at home. Now we'll head into tonight's Stars of the Game, presented by Bill and Karen Hoffert, longtime BGSU hockey fans, Falcon Club members, and our sponsors of the Stars of the Game tonight. Pretty difficult decision, actually, all around. Some great offensive outputs. Noah Morneau is going to get our first star of the game. He had the game-winning goal and 3 total goals, a team leading 6 shots on goal and total shots, 11 face-off wins, only 8 losses, and a +2 rating today for Noah Morneau. Just the freshman with his first career 3-point game and first career hat trick as well. Second star of the game, Dominic Ryman, actually had more points than Noah Morneau on 2 goals in the first period, 2 assists in the second period as well. He had 4 total points as well as 4 shots and 3 shots on goal and a +2 rating. And then Quinn Emerson had 3 assists today, the assist leader in the game as a whole, even over the Bulldogs. Also had 1 shot on goal, 2 blocks, and a face-off won and a face-off loss did Quinn Emerson. So Morneau, Ryman, and Emerson are your 3 stars of the game. And Kevin, just an all-around very highly offensive game for this Bowling Green team and the Ferris State team, and all around not too badly played. It just ended up being an explosive offense today.
Definitely did, and I think it shows a lot of good signs just with the young guys on this Bowling Green roster being able to contribute and being able to make plays. You had that great goal by Jake Sloan, obviously Morneau with his hat trick. And I think that's just a testament to how well Dennis Williams has recruited in the offseason. I think this program put everybody on notice after the great year they had last year in Dennis Williams' first season at the helm. A lot of guys really wanted to come play for him, and it's great to see.
Bowling Green with every line scoring today. Jake Sloan scoring on the 4th line for the Falcons. Brody Waters scoring on the 3rd line. Tyler Hodson scoring on the 2nd line. And Dominic Ryman and Noah Morneau combining for 5 of the 9 goals, scoring on the 1st line for the Falcons today. And Quinn Emerson with the 3 assists. All 3 of those are our 3 stars of the game. That 1st line for the Falcons has just been absolutely unbelievable the last couple of games, especially Morneau, who's got 5 goals in only 3 games played through the Minnesota State Series, and now 1 game in the Ferris State Series. And just all around, the biggest things that you like seeing from the Falcons today, Kevin?
What I really loved was just seeing the aggression. I mean, I even talked pregame. One thing the Falcons had to do today was be aggressive, and they certainly did that. They kept finding ways to score. And another thing I really enjoyed seeing was just the unselfish brand of hockey that they played. A lot of passing, a lot of puck distribution, and a lot of just sort of getting guys open. You just love to see that kind of team hockey, and that's the kind of hockey that's going to take you far in conference play.
The Falcons with a 9-5 win over Ferris State here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. That's their first regulation win at home, and the only 2 other games played at home this season were against Bemidji State, and tie games there as well. A 3-1-3 record for the Falcons in CCHA play, who will take 3 points toward the CCHA standings. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on in the rest of the CCHA today. Minnesota State did complete an overtime victory over Lake Superior State, the overtime winner by Evan Murr. His 2nd goal of the game for a defenseman. Luigi Benincasa and Tristan Lemire, the 2 helpers on the overtime winner. The shootout for Michigan Tech and Bemidji State, no word yet on who won, but 2 goals scored in the 3rd period, 1 by each team, and that the max points going to be taken from that game is 2. So the Falcons sitting at 14 points. Bemidji State's going to sit at 16 atop the conference, and Michigan Tech going to sit at 13 in 2nd place. Bowling Green with the win here today in regulation over Ferris State. Kevin, it's a pleasure to call the game with you today. Maybe we should have you on a little bit more often given how the scoring went today, but it was certainly a pleasure and good broadcast today.
Yeah, happy to be here, and thank you, Ben, for letting me be on.
Thank you to Nate Henners back in the Cooling Center studios that ran a couple of studio updates from WBGU in the Cooling Center studios. Nate, thank you so much for giving up your Friday night. And special thank you to Lucas Kleinmeyer, Tyler Kavlitz, and Carl Smith, our directors that allow us to be here in the Slater Family Ice Arena and call Bowling Green hockey today. We will be back tomorrow, Bowling Green, with a 6:07 puck drop here in the slate. Make sure to tune in 25 minutes prior to game time for the pregame show hosted from the WBGU 88.1 FM studios. A couple of other events from the Falcon Media Sports Network going on our radio stations tomorrow, so make sure to keep a lookout at bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter for the times of those broadcast starts and who they are going to be against. Previews, recaps also available on bgfalconmedia.com and BG_FMSN on Twitter. From myself, Ben Korak, from Kevin Hutchinson, and from Nate Henners from the Falcon Media Sports Network, we say so long and see you tomorrow. You're listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.